Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise! I hope you guys are ready. It is playoff time.
After all the hours, the weeks, the months, it all comes down to this. The journey to the grand finals is almost complete.
I'm going all the way. I'm going, yeah, my blood is rebel. I'm going all the way. I'm going to another level.
No way! That was domination. They done it again! Unbelievable! And the rock stars of the Overwatch League continue to crank out power chords. Ooh, get rocked!
There's only 1 week left, so if you want to stake your claim, cement that legacy, there's no time like the now.
I'm going all the way. I'm going, yeah, my blood is rebel.
We know it won't be easy to hold that trophy, to wear that crown, but if you want it, come and get it.
Good afternoon, Overwatch fans. Welcome back to another day of the playoffs, the last week here in the Blizzard Arena live in Los Angeles. I am Achilles, joined as always by Wolf, and we are more than excited to jump into the action here in the lower bracket. Going to be sending 2 more teams home today.
That's right. There's a lot on the line for these teams. We've already sent the majority of the league home. We've got those final 2 spots in the grand finals still to be decided. And, you know, if you take a look at the bracket itself, you know, you can see how we got here. I mean, it has been quite the journey for the Atlanta Reign after that really crazy upset win over the San Francisco Shock. Were then upset themselves by the New York Excelsior. Gladiators drop the Spark down as well, and that's where they will face each other today. And you can see, I mean, coming after a pretty dominant win over Dynasty, Spark come in as favorites on our analyst desk. Outside of the Overwatch League, though, most analysts are predicting the Reign to win, so should be a close one here, Achilles.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if they're going to be able to get that victory and advance again. Maybe they would get to play against the Shock in a rematch on Saturday. We'll have to see if that's how things transpire in that second series today between Gladiators and Shock. But this is, of course, crucially important, not just because you want to keep your playoff hopes alive, but because of our performance bonuses, a difference of $50,000 to the winner of today's match.
Yeah, it starts to jump up really big too. After you get top 4, you jump up 100, you get top 3, and 250, and obviously $500,000 there up to our first place prize for those who are going to be the second champions of the Overwatch League here in our 2019 season. So a lot to play for here besides pride, and if you lose here, you're going home, your season is over.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a great run for all of these teams, but Atlanta especially looking reinvigorated with Gators starting. Of course, that massive C9 moment for the San Francisco Shock at the end of that series went the distance all the way through. But Gator coming in was a bit of a surprise for people. But he's really been performing and has been one of the best Sigmas that we've seen so far.
And he's been really well-spoken in his interviews as well. It feels like he's been part of this team all along. You know, it really does. You can see how good his synergy is. This is a player who comes from the Academy team. Atlanta Academy has already played too many matches to stay on that team. In fact, he won't be eligible to play in the Gauntlet. He's made that choice with the team to play in the Overwatch League to try to get them to that grand final. So he kind of sacrificed his Academy, you know, for now, because he can't play in that Gauntlet tournament.
Yeah, I mean, can't really blame him for that one. And he's been meshing so well with the squad, so it's been a really great transition for him over into the main roster. On the other side, though, we've got the Hangzhou Spark, who are going to be looking to advance as well. I mean, they've had, you know, a bit of an up and down season overall, but they make their way into the playoffs, and they're looking alive. They're one of the, you know, the last Chinese organization that we have, with Gushwei being the last Chinese player that we have in the playoffs.
That's right. Rhea has looked really good on the Sigma, not stacking up as well as some of the other players in terms of raw stats, but he shows up in the eye test. Bazzi as well, coming up big on the Doomfist. And what's crazy about the Hangzhou Spark is they're winning more team fights after losing the first member than almost any other team right now. So even when you get picked early, you know, you can come back. Bazzi, when you look at these stats here on the Fist, it's pretty impressive. You know, top 3 in most metrics. Remember, this guy was a hit scan specialist forever to switch roles completely onto the Doomfist, a hero he never played before Overwatch League, and to look this good in a Doomfist centralized meta that's an impressive feat in itself.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, plays very aggressively, kind of lives and dies by the fist, but more often than not, it's been working out for him, and he's been able to contest with the best. I mean, he's going to be going up against Urster on the other side, so that's a pretty tough matchup to try to come out on top of as far as that Doomfist 1v1 is concerned. But guys, we're ready to kick things off. Let's go ahead and bring out our first team. Please welcome them. It's the Atlanta Reign.
For the Atlanta Reign to make it this far, I don't think anyone could have seen it coming. It's an expansion team, it's a mixed roster, and they came in with, I mean, really flying colors at the beginning of stage 1. They lost to Fran, he retired, and the team is still held together. Baby Bay came in clutch. You have Gator now stepping in very late, but not too late to turn this playoffs into a winning opportunity for Atlanta Reign to make it to that grand finals. This team has seen a lot of hardship. This team has seen a lot of struggles, but they are looking strong right now. They just barely lost to the New York Excelsior last week, and now they're trying to bounce back.
That they are. A victory here today would push them forward to that match on Saturday. Again, maybe a rematch versus the Shock, unless the Gladiators can find victory in that second series today. We'll see if Atlanta can get it done now as we go ahead and bring out their opponents. It's the Hangzhou Spark.
I think you better bow down.
The Hangzhou Spark have finally become the team they were destined to be. Late last year, when they started announcing players, you know, they picked up No Smite. Everyone was excited. They picked up Gushwei, and slowly but steadily, this team got fleshed out and built out. Rhea was announced. Godspeed comes through, and it's an elite Korean roster with a Chinese main tank that has changed the way Winston is played. We're not in the Winston meta anymore, but Gushwei is still looking strong here in this meta. And the Hangzhou Spark have had their ups and downs, but it feels like the highest of highs is right where it needs to be here in the postseason. And they're just a few series away from being the first Chinese org to ever make the grand finals here in the Overwatch League.
Looking for that run, looking for victory here today. A firm victory as well, because they have a tough opponent ahead of them no matter what if they can take down the Reign. Gator, though, as we mentioned, this guy has been absolutely instrumental for the Atlanta Reign so far in the postseason. He has just been phenomenal on that Sigma, and he's going up against somebody else who is also taken to that hero very nicely in Rhea. So watching that Sigma matchup as well as the Doomfist matchup is going to be quite interesting.
The accretion kills metric seems to be one of the most impactful ones in terms of team fights, right? If you can get that accretion kill, if you can stun a Moira out of Coalescence, for example, and set that up, you're going to have a great time in those longer team fights, you know, outside of a Doomfist starting pick. So that's, I feel, the most valuable metric that he is leading in. Gator, on the other hand, best gravitic fluxes per 10 we have in the league right now, and second in hero damage, so a little bit more consistent damage output than Rhea overall. This is going to be a great matchup. Rhea, quietly one of the best D.Va players in the league, didn't get a lot of credit for it, I feel. But now he's got the opportunity to define this meta. As Gator, you know, himself, he was on the original GOATS team. He made that meta. You know, he's one of the players that really set the pace for that. Now it could be a legendary player who's defined 2 metas if he could become the best Sigma player in the world.
It'd be huge if he can lead them to victory here. Let's go ahead and take a look at our map set presented by Toyota. We will be kicking things off on Busan. And as always for the playoffs, the loser will pick the next map. Neither team wants to have that ability. They want to start things off with a victory here on Control.
Control is such a fun map in a series like this because it does determine who has map pick advantage, and it's a very neutral map. You know, you approach the point, the first person to capture it gets that huge advantage, and that's often defined by the first flex support to get Coalescence, and that's going to be a matchup between Dogman and Bebe here. The first kill on Doomfist can be obviously the defining factor too. The Doomfist players have to approach the point, so it's not easy to set up a rocket punch at the start of the fight.
Hear the cheers coming out from the fans here in the Blizzard Arena. They are ready to kick off this playoffs. I am as well, so let's go ahead and jump into the action as the gates open. See right now, it's just going to be mirrored coming through. So they push forward over towards the point. 15 seconds to unlock as that poke damage starts coming in. Urster going in for the first punch, manages to pin him to the wall. Rhea falling low, and Baby Bay is there to scoop the kill. So first blood going the way of the Atlanta Reign. Another punch, this time on a Gushwei. Softening up that Orisa, a dive into the back with a seismic slam, but it's a bit of an overcommitment for Urster, so it does get taken down by Bazzi, but the damage is done. Atlanta Reign will be able to get the first cap.
So they get the first kills coming through there. Urster does get traded back, but he'll be able to rejoin very quickly. The Coalescence doesn't become a factor in this first fight because it doesn't go the distance as many control opening points will in that neutral fight. Dogman and Bebe tied right now in ult charge, so that's going to be how this next fight goes once they do finish this off. Airster would love to get that opening pick, though, to prevent them from even having the chance to challenge. He's going for it now.
Yeah, looking for it. They hold them together. He gets a lot of damage dealt, but can't quite get an execution onto somebody, so Hangzhou Spark just going to be topping everybody up. Dogman, in the meantime, going to be using that Coalescence as Bebe goes ahead and matches him. Baby Bay will be taken down. Punch for punch there. Erster hits the ground. It's going to be staying there as IDK manages to find the kill. And this looks like a flip for the Spark. Very fast one if they can get this done. Lanarain trying to hold on as long as they can. They can buy a decent bit of time. It seems like around 50% is where it's going to lie as the point gets ready to go over into the hands of the Spark.
Yeah, Masa buying a good amount of time there. The real turning point in that fight was the fact that Airster wasn't able to get the pick. He went in too deep, and when you use your rocket punch, most of your mobility is gone. That gives the defensive Coalescence the advantage because you're trying to back off, you're trying to retreat, but you don't have that escape. Hangzhou took the defensive Coalescence fight. Ults are traded in their favor now, and they've got the point back.
Just gonna have to see how the Rain will reapproach this one. Beats about to be available. Yep, Masa now has his online, so sound barrier is up for both of these teams. Another punch going for Bazzi, but he's gonna be hit with an accretion, so cannot get that rocket punch executed on. Gravitic Flux comes in from Gator. Looking for some kills. Gooseray so far gonna be the first one to fall. The sound barrier coming in a little bit too late from IDK. Now Gravitic Flux out from the Atlanta. Rain, Masa instantly drops a beat, but Gator's still gonna be taken down. See the Death Blossom in from Baby Bay looking to take down Re-Up, but he just says no. Denies all of that damage away with his shift ability. Bazzi, however, will get picked off. An all-out brawl here on the points. The Hangzhou Spark look to take the lead, and they will be able to do so as they clean up the Atlanta Rain. The fight does not go their way. They maintain control.
Baby Bay's had quite a few of these Death Blossoms that have turned losing fights around. But when you look at the raw numbers, you know, the Deaths talked about it earlier, 10% of the time, they're able to take a fight where they've lost the first member. Very low statistic, lowest in postseason at the moment. And I gotta say, you know, that the ultimate being used here is gonna be a huge tool the Atlanta Rain wish they had now on the approach when there's no sound barrier. And that's expensive. You know, you can turn these fights sometimes, but it's not working out for Baby Bay here.
Yeah, need to be timing that kinetic grasp to make sure that you can actually get the Death Blossom damage in. Poke, getting poked down. It's gonna be Urser who does fall first. You're flying up into their faces, just throwing in those shields. Poke trying desperately to hide in the corner, but he's been spotted. Accretion not gonna hit, but they still will be able to hound down the kills onto Gator. Good staggers there for the Hangzhou Spark. Suddenly we're at 90% for them. As they look to close this out, both support ultimates about to be online as well.
Pokepo has to return here with a Wrecking Ball. They're going to look for that disruption. Coalescence is available, as you say.
Punched away from the point. Can they tag? He's trying to get there. They uppercut him off of it, but they do manage to get in. But Pokepo will go down in the end. Coalescence now going to be used by Bebe. Sound barrier as well stacked in, just looking to seal the deal on this fight, and they do so. They zone them back off the point. They buy enough time for OT to bleed away, and the first round of Busan goes the way of the Spark.
When we look back in time, Baby Bay using that Death Blossom really cost the Atlanta Rain a lot of opportunity to re-engage on the point when they didn't have support ultimates available. You know, they didn't have the sound barrier that IDK was holding, and Rhea is able to just utilize the Gravitic Flux after the fight is already over. The Hangzhou Spark, after winning that previous fight, where Baby Bay did use that ultimate, they had ult economy advantage for the rest of the map and got to dictate fights accordingly. The defensive Coalescence is always the more powerful one. And we'll see here as we head into what could be our last round of Busan, if once again Bebe can lead in that regard. We are going to see mirror compositions again, as you'd expect. This is the meta after all. Flanking Doomfist here from Bazzi, a bit greedy, doesn't commit.
Just waiting for his opportunity here. Holt's going to be used instead. He's trying to find the kill on Gator, but the punch does not connect, so he's got to use his combo to get himself out. Urges up another punch, goes forward. Quite aggressively, gets halted back in, but he actually manages to make it out with a sliver of HP remaining. Godsby takes down Pokepo. Everyone was so focused on trying to eliminate Bazzi. They do manage to find him in the end as Baby Bay gets forced into that Wraith Walk. Dogman going to be using his Coalescence, builds it up first, uses it aggressively. Point is unlocked. Baby Bay drops down, contested there for the moment. The rest of the team trying to join in. Godsby finds the kill onto the opposing Reaper. Erster gets rid of IDK, however, further delaying that sound barrier, giving Masa a bit more room to work with. They push forward, they have that Coalescence coming in, and Gator can do nothing to mitigate the damage, even with a kinetic grasp.
And Godsby, look at his ult charge compared to Baby Bay's. He did so much more damage because Pokepo was picked early. There's no barrier there to mitigate that damage, there's no peel, and Godsby just does tons of damage, despite the fact that Dogman got Coalescence first. They couldn't convert it into any kills. And look at Bebe just grabbing some more ult charge here in this choke point. Godspeed's got the Death Blossom. They have to respect it.
Splitting out different sides. Kinetic Flux is ready to go. Grecian goes forward, doesn't find a stun. Barriers coming up as they go ahead, trying to push their way back. That's going to be the Sound Bearer in response to the Flux. Team members going to be hitting the ground. Rhea, however, getting focused down. They pull him back in. So much shielding being committed to Rhea, but it's just not enough. They cannot keep him alive. Will get taken down in the end. Everybody else on the side of the Spark going to be contained inside the little cubby here in the side of the point. Godspeed goes in with a Death Blossom, but doesn't manage to find anything. Urster's still going to get cleaned up, and Godspeed comes back in. Post-ultimate, takes down Pokemon. Now Baby hosed down by Baby with the Coalescence, and Atlanta Rain will be held off. The Spark will retain control of this point, now at 60%.
Godspeed was able to make that Death Blossom more valuable than Baby Bay was on the previous round, down a member. Hangzhou Spark had the better win rate in those team fights. They're turning so many of these with the DPS players. Rhea absorbed a lot of the damage, goes down, but they convert that into a kill. Very well played on the side of the Hangzhou Spark, just kind of playing passively and hitting the go button right when they need it, right when Atlanta Rain's just a bit overextended.
There's just so much of a focus on Rhea, they didn't really have anything else for the rest of the team.
Exactly.
Cost them dearly. Have ultimates coming online now. Dogman again going to be starting off with the Coalescence. And Ursa goes in with a massive seismic slam. We'll just take down 2, then gets the uppercut onto Rhea. That will be the cleanup here. Absolutely massive combo there from the Atlanta Rain. Still looking to get the flip on the point, but it's just a matter of time. Baby Bay buys a little bit more. It's in overtime, but Rain do get the flip, and they still have ultimates to hold this.
Big ult advantages for the Rain are the Death Blossom and the Gravitic Flux. Bebe does have the Coalescence available, so that's going to be one of the great engagement tools for the Hangzhou Spark. If they look like they're getting a pick, or even if Bazzi gets just an opening one, they can commit that and try to turn the fight. They may just try to bait these out.
Bebe just caught out by himself, just gets punched. Huge Gravitic Flux coming through, however, the Wraith Walk will save Godspeed for the moment. Meteor strikes out from both teams. Will be Rhea going down, will be Urster taken down in response. Second Meteor Strike comes up with that kill. Pokemon trying to retreat over onto the point will be cut down as the Hangzhou Spark push forward, look to flip this one and close out Busan in a convincing fashion. The flip will be there, and with 2 members still dead, both main tanks waiting to respawn. Anubis goes in, uses the Death Blossom, manages to find 1 as Bazzi just get eliminated, but at the cost of 3. Both supports gonna go down. They get the pile driver in onto the point, this Pokemon. But he needs to last. He needs to buy a lot more time, and I don't think he's going to be able to do so. He'll get finished off here in the end by Godspeed. They clean up Gator, and that should be OT ticking away for a 2-0 start to the series on Busan. Spark will take map 1.
Great start for the Spark here. More defensive ultimates, countering the seismic slam coming through from Bebe was Bazzi, or from Esther, is Bazzi, uses it second there in the combo. They just waited for the Rain to come in, countered the ultimates. That pick onto Baby Bay was so huge, preventing the Death Blossom. Hangzhou Spark is 1 step ahead of the curve in terms of how to use these ultimates to control the point.
Looking very clean here are the Hangzhou Spark. Atlanta Rain have to try to bounce back after that loss and see if they can tie us up on our second map. We'll find out. It's their choice. We'll see if they can get them win.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
And by Omen, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
The most memorable moment would probably be beating Chalk this season. That was like such a good experience. It made me like really happy.
That's right, there's a big shatter! Oh, they did it again!
It's crazy because we were such a big underdog.
The Houston Outlaws defeat the San Francisco Shock.
It's my whole team. I'm good friends with like literally everyone on the team. So I was just happy playing against them, and then winning just made it like the best experience ever.
up, guys? I am Zedd, and I'm incredibly excited to announce that I am coming to Philly to the Overwatch League Grand Finals. I'm gonna be performing. I'm gonna see you guys there. I might be performing as Widow, or as Tracer, or as Zedd. I guess we'll see, but I will see you guys there.
That is right. Zedd is going to be performing at the Grand Finals in Philadelphia, the Wells Fargo Center. So make sure you guys are tuning in 2:30 p.m. on Twitch, or just be there live at the venue. You know, if you already have your tickets, it's sold out for the Grand Final. It's going to be a great show. I myself have actually seen Zedd live in Philadelphia before.
Yeah,
it was a fantastic show.
Zedd is a great artist. I've been a huge fan of his for a long time. He's a huge gamer as well and a big Overwatch fan. Heading into our second map here, Atlanta Reign will have the map choice. And one of the maps they like to play on in these scenarios is Numbani. We've seen Baby Bay on the Ashe on this map in particular. We'll see if that comes to pass here. But Vazzy has really had Baby Bay and Arister's number on the Doomfist. He's picking Baby Bay early in these fights. He's waiting back. He's using his skills second. And obviously a lot of that was because they had most control over the points. So you have that defensive advantage. But in Overwatch, just generally speaking, in any mirror, you want to be the second one to ult, you want to be the second one to punch, you want to be the second one to transcendence, you want to be the second one to sound barrier, right? And in that last fight, he was the second one to meteor strike. After we saw Arister come in there, he just countered the combo there with his own strike. Hangzhou just have total control.
Well, this is the map choice of the Atlanta Reign. We'll be taking us to Numbani for our first hybrid map. We'll see if that is going to be enough for them to tie up this series. Unsurprisingly, no substitutions for either team as well.
We'll see if Baby Bay wants to run the Ashe on defense. He will defend first here, but he is showing the Bastion instead. The cool thing about Ashe, and Sureforce talked about this a lot recently, the cool thing about Ashe is it gives you some really nice peel. You have the ability to knock back anyone who's diving you, but you also have kind of this preemptive Pharah counter, just in case the attacking team is running the Pharah. Now, they don't have any of those, straight up Pharah counters right now. Remember, the Hangzhou Spark aren't running their Pharah player here. They're not running Sashin, so you don't really expect to see a Pharah coming out on the attack. So I think this is a pretty safe choice here to run the Bastion that, New York has really popularized right now.
Well, you can see Spark tooling around with a couple different picks.
Godsby is here on the Pharah. Now, I'm not saying Godsby can't play the Pharah. He certainly has, but usually for Pharah-specific situations, we have seen Sashin. It's going to be the Godsby approach here for now. He's the more flexible player overall.
Around the side, just going to be greeted with a barrier for now. As they look to just take him out of the sky, so very low, and Gator's got the shot in the end to go ahead and finish him off. Bazzi now going to be trying to get set up. Has that immortality field to help keep him alive.
The need is huge.
Yeah, hits 3, and that is Gushwei getting taken down.
They're going to commit
We'll have the res.
Yeah, that's a pretty heavy commitment here.
Well, he's gone again, because this time Baby Bay pushes up. He gets himself around the corner, and he is just chewing people apart.
Atlanta is so prepared for this. I mean, such a great map pick for them. They played it already against New York. Obviously they ran the Ashe variation, but they clearly prepared very well against this type of strategy. It was at first the Ashe they thought was going to be the answer. Now they're just going to be running the Mei wall here to lock these members up in the choke point, in that stairwell. And Dogman's hitting the bio grenades where he needs to. And this is a clean start here for the Atlanta Reign.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see just in the ult charge here, Godsby and Bazzi compared to Baby Bay, is how much more damage he's been able to get through. Godsby just trying to get those rockets in between those shields, find that sweet spot, but so far it's eluding him overall and has to constantly be concerned about these shots coming in from Dogman. He's trying to get a high angle here, but everyone's just pushing inside to finish off the rest of the team, so the pharmacy comp can't get anything done.
Yeah, Hangzhou Spark are trying to use Godsby as kind of a flanker. He's coming on the side to add that extra pressure. But that's the cool thing about Sigma. Gator can actually place his barrier slightly to the left, angled it such a way that Godsby can't get that flank damage off. They're playing a little bit further forward than most Bastion compositions on this map are right now. But look again, Gator is just denying the damage right now from Godsby, so the flank is just not effective.
Okay, well, drop down has come through for the Reign, so looking to reposition, it would seem. Arister takes a bit of damage. Godsby still coming around the back. 14% left to go towards that barrage. Ice block used there for Ursa, so now a little bit more vulnerable. Immortality field comes in. They have that amp matrix thrown down, but Baby Bay, he's not able to get into a position. They're going to be nanoing him just to try to get that pharmacy out of the sky, but he can't quite find the angle. Configuration tank now going to be used, however. As you can see him looking for a shot over on the side, trying to get the prediction there in mid-air, but Godspeed with a barrage. Takes down to Masa and Gator, both gonna fall, and just like that, Atlanta Reign, it seems like this defense will crumble. Hangzhou Spark able to dance around them long enough, displace them, kind of confuse the Reign, and they will be able to net themselves a cap on point A.
Yeah, this was really just striking while the iron was hot. As soon as you mentioned, Atlanta Reign had to drop down off the high ground. They couldn't get back together. This is the barrage we saw from Godspeed, where he's flanking around the other side, grabs the health pack here. They're not concerned because they know he's low, but he gets the health pack and then just commits back in. He gets stunned here, but the damage is already done. They've already gotten 2 picks before the barrage. It's just the cherry on top to clean things up. All it takes is one moment of being out of position, and then the Bastion comp collapses.
Mortality field gone again for the side of the Reign. Blizzard's going to be used here on the point, and everybody going to get caught up into that one. As you can see, the cleanup coming through. Airster will fall, but otherwise, it's going to be a pretty concise wipe just about onto the Hangzhou Spark.
Yeah, we'll see if this Mei composition can hold them at the corner, because it's actually kind of one of the strongest places where you can really run the Mei. You have the Bastion corner control, you have Mei to kind of peel, but they're actually going to give it up. Despite that teamfight win with the faster respawns, they don't want to stay out there. They don't have a Blizzard to control like they did in the previous fight, and they're going to fight around the second corner instead. This does give Hangzhou Spark with their ult advantage a free push, and they get to hold the ultimates. They didn't have to use them to go around the first corner. They can use them for contest on
Gator being pulled back in. Immortality field has to be used. Good focus fire there from the Spark to finish that off immediately, but they cannot get the kill onto the enemy Sigma. They do, however, displace Baby Bay again with that Bastion. Gravitic Flux coming through. That's a big one. Catches multiple members, and Baby Bay will get taken down. It's at the cause of Bazzi, however. His Poke manages to answer one back. Rhea getting right up into their faces, but will be frozen for the moment. Falls low, and Airster finishes him off. Gator with the Gravitic Flux of his own finishes off IDK, but now Gator going to be gone as Bazzi has the high ground with that configuration tank.
And hypotheticals, you know, we were talking about it moments ago. If Atlanta had tried to hold the first corner, maybe these ultimates would have to have been used there. But because they waited, gave them the free push, the ults that Hangzhou Spark had, the massive advantage they had, they trade ultimates in their favor, and they get B because of it. Imagine if they had to use these ults around the previous corner. Tougher to take that fight as Reign, but maybe you force the ultimates out. Maybe you get a stall on B. And because Atlanta also committed several of their ultimates, the Hangzhou Spark trade up so massively here. And we're going to see a swap Godspeed onto the Bastion. And we're going to just see kind of the mirror here now as they go around the corner. Unsung hero for that defense was Dogman, really shutting down the Pharah. But it's not going to matter anymore here. He's going to have to be shooting at barriers against this Bastion, and he hopes for that lucky grenade, but easier said than done.
You can see the Ant Matrix ready to roll. They will boost Godspeed out of it, so he's not getting that increased damage, and he's left vulnerable. Baby Bay cuts him down, manages to find another one. And a boost used onto Baby Bay.
Airster's
makes up for the lack of an Ant Matrix.
Airster's putting on a clink on this Mei. He really has. I mean, Blizzard was great. Sets up that wall to prevent Godspeed from really getting value out of the Ant Matrix, and it's just a great Mei all around. Now he's just trying to poke his way up to another Blizzard. Remember how game-defining that last one was on the first corner there.
That's a huge pick there onto Bebe as well. Now they're set up here on the high ground. They look for the hold to pull him off. Gator, he does fall.
That's
gets hit with the accretion as well. They're looking to finish him off. Shielding does come through, and Baby Bay is buying space with a configuration tank. Wraps around the side, gets greeted with a barrier, however, so not going to be able to finish anybody else off, but still manages to find Bazzi, so another crucial pickoff going his way. He'll be knocked off the high ground, but has the Orisa barrier there from Pokefo to keep him safe.
Gator has been going low and not dying in so many scenarios that he's actually drawing a lot of the attention away from the Spark that set up Baby Bay's configuration tank there, where he was able to just kind of flank around as everyone commits. They're into killing Gator. He uses the grab there, the grasp, to pull his shields up, and then survives through it.
There's the boost. As the Blizzard comes in, but Rhea takes it away with the kinetic grasp.
Huge.
Berserk gets denied. Godspeed gonna be stunned up. They manage to find the finish. Dogman focus firing him. Comes up with the kill in the back of the stun. Pokefo, however, gonna fall low and get eliminated by Bazzi. Another wall coming in, just cutting them off as much as they possibly can from that Amp Matrix.
Ooh,
coming through. They slam Rhea down, but he is gonna be more than okay. Still quite healthy. Managed to find the sleep dart there onto Rhea.
Preventing the Nano from getting value here, but this is still a win for the Spark, especially with Gator using that Gravitic Flux, not getting value out of it. The cart halted for a moment here, but this is such a good trade for the Spark.
Airster's in such a bad position right now. He doesn't have a Blizzard, so he can't come in with a flank for that. He's in behind and above the team at the moment. He's playing up onto the platform, looking for some picks. We'll finish off the Supercharger with that flank angle, but then gets pulled back in by the Holt and taken down. Supercharger's still here for the side of the Atlanta Reign as they try to maintain control over on this corner. Configuration tank coming out, Baby Bay looking to zone them back. Godsby now going to be matching as they go blow for blow with the tank form, but it's pretty much just both teams peeling away from each other.
This is actually huge for Atlanta Reign.
Buy themselves a lot of space. That's going to be the Graphitic Plugs coming through. Rhea looking to take them down. It's offensive Baby Bay. Bazzi is there for the alley-oop. They get the kill. Gator is gone as well. Poco now going to fall. No main tanks here for the side of the Atlanta Reign. Pretty much nobody. They're all going to be eliminated here in the extended wipe. There's the last one to fall. Wrecking Ball comes in. Gator manages to tag in, but is instantly frozen by Bazzi. Swap over from Baby Bay onto the Doomfist. Looking to buy some time. They force it into OT. They're getting picked off one after the other. Popo frozen, knocked out of the mech. Will just be a very slow, extended push into the finish here you would expect. There's not going to be a miracle coming through for the side of the Atlanta Reign. Airster buys a little bit more time with the ice block. This time on the accretion, he tries to use the blizzard, but it does not go through. Gets canceled mid-animation, and the Spark will be able to complete Numbani, but it's without time in the bank.
Atlanta Reign had a few opportunities to stop that cart in its tracks. Really great configuration take from Baby Bay. They played around that immortality field so well, but it wasn't enough in the end. At least they were able to force overtime. So with a better time bank here, they could really turn this series around. Great stall despite that failed defense.
Yeah, now we have to see how the Atlanta Reign are going to fare on the attack. Remember, this is their map pick, so maybe they have something special planned for us on the attack. We'll find out in just a bit.
Support your team with the official Overwatch League Coca-Cola bottles at CokeStore.com. Ships to all 50 U.S. states, Washington, D.C., and U.S. P.O. boxes.
I am with you.
EMP activated.
Incoming!
You can't catch me!
Glorious!
And welcome back. It is time for the Reign to go on the attack here on Numbani. Weren't able to stop the Spark from finishing the map, but they do take them down to overtime. So no time in the bank for them.
Airster with a fantastic set of May plays. Sure, one of his blizzards was absorbed by that kinetic grasp, but otherwise, I mean, he had a solid run there, really eliminating a lot of that time bank through the blizzard usage there, getting a few picks and really forcing the Spark to play more defensively, even when he didn't have his blizzard available. And he's a very threatening May right now, and we'll see if he can continue that performance here as they switch over to attack. Hangzhou Spark, kind of as expected, not going to be running the Pharah here, going to be sticking with same sort of composition, Bastion May. Range showing that right now. We'll see if they commit to it when the gates open. Very tough to attack with this Bastion just walking it up, but it is something that if you can get into the right position and get that single pick, suddenly you're absolutely able to take that advantage. It's hard to fight in the choke with this, you know, and New York made it work, and everyone's kind of experimenting with this right now. Everyone's kind of talking about this is the most complex Bastion meta we've ever had. I mean, it's not just putting a Bastion on a cart, it's not just putting a Bastion in a teleporter. You got to walk up, you got to position yourself well, you got to time your repairs, you've got to make sure your configuration tanks are huge. Because configuration tank wasn't a huge ultimate in the past, really, but now it's like a team fight defining one if used correctly. So, a lot of pressure here on Baby Bay. on this approach. Can the tanks get him into the spot he needs to be in to make that damage happen?
You can see here, it's going to be the Spark waiting for them across the way. They're not starting on that top left high ground. This is going to cause the rain to wrap around the other side.
Yeah.
See Bazzi up top now, looking for the Halt to pull him in.
Totally different setup than what the rain used.
Yeah. Mortality Field are going to be used as Baby Bang. Looks for a kill. Sleep Dart over on IDK. Mortality Field is out. They do manage to take that one down. Now the stun's coming through, and already things look dire for the Spark. 3 kills. The way of the Atlanta Rain on the first push. Bazzi will drop down in the ice block, trying to buy a little bit more time. It's about as good as it's going to get, really. Throws up the wall, hides in the corner, but will be taken down by Gator in the end because he can just bounce those left clicks around.
And this is
that's
why,
going to be an insanely fast cap for the Rain.
This is why that overtime finish for Hangzhou Spark could really hurt, because Atlanta Rain are now already set up to have the better time because they can finish the match. Starting at 5:20 from A, and if they get a minute plus, I mean, there's just no way the Spark can win the map. They're a draw best case scenario with that overtime finish. So this is actually amazing for Atlanta Rain. Hangzhou Spark with a slight ult lead on the Blizzard, but otherwise this is a pretty even game across the board. So Atlanta Rain not feeling too upset about how that last fight went for any reason.
Oh no, definitely not. Boost comes in, Baby Bang, exiting in sentry form. Drops back down, nearly has the configuration tank ready to go. Immortality Field is out. There's a big Bionade there from Dogman as well, but anti-heal does expire. They continue to push forward. There's gonna be the tank. Wrapping around the side, gets the shots in, Baby. Gonna be eliminated. Ice block is here, Baby Bang. Waiting right up in the face of Bazzi. Takes him low, hasn't finished him off yet, but will be able to do so in the end as Gator does fall. Looking for the flank, wraps around the back, gets that Bionade to stay safe. Strongman keeping him supported. Now the configuration tank comes in, however, from the side of Godspeed, looking to turn things around. Pushes up aggressively, but instead it's gonna be Rhea who comes up with the kills consistently. A double kill over to the enemy Sigma here.
Rough angle for Atlanta Rain right now. Rhea can definitely commit this if they do start rushing back towards the point.
Toss that boulder right into the doorway.
There it is.
But that's going to be the Flux coming through. Manages to catch what looks like 2, and Baby Bang will just get dropped in midair. Bazzi finds the kills. Answering Flux coming in now from Gator. Rhea falling lower and lower, trying to stay alive. Use that kinetic grasp. Buys himself a bit of shielding. Will be able to stay sustained for now. Gator, however, frozen, going to be taken down. Airstrike's going to be responding with a Blizzard of his own despite the loss on the main tank. They catch 2 here over on the car. They will be able to burn them down. Popo taking away both of those killing blows as Airstrike gets greeted with a sleep, but there's no one to follow up. It's just Popo in the kill feed, and Atlanta Rain gliding forward into point B.
If we compare this defense to what we saw from the Hangzhou, or rather from the Atlanta Rain, remember, look at how many ultimates Hangzhou were able to trade out to the Atlanta Rain. Yes, the time make is still good, but they find themselves now in a pretty even ult situation, which was not the case really for the Atlanta Rain just previously after their defensive B, failed and it was taken. They still have the better time bank though, so if they can keep this cart rolling, if they can keep trading these ultimates, keep playing aggressively as we've seen Bebe do.
Well, that's going to be the Amp Matrix coming through. One of the big differences that they do have in their favor. Immortality Field expires, or actually, I think he got moved out of it. Will just be taken down. So that's going to be a good time by here for the side of the Spark, and the cart is in such a pristine spot for them to drain a lot of time out of the bank.
Atlanta Rain almost flanking around completely there, but then pulling back to just keep the cart rolling. Breaking this Bastion position won't be possible though straightforward though until they do get Baby Bay back. He is walking back now and he should have that safe return here. Just creeping around the corner. They're going to use the shields to put him in position.
Boost coming in. Bay just sitting in the back here. Firing off shots. Immortality Field is up. That'll fire. Major Bionade there, as you say. 4 members caught by that. Unable to find the killing blows, but the cart in the meantime has gotten around the corner. It's getting closer and closer. Now the Amp Matrix is tossed in. They had the sleep there onto Baby. He's going to be burned down. Popo going to fall. Baby just kind of firing into the void, looking for a target. Now sees Godspeed around the flank, nearly eliminates him, but he's in configuration tank. So they have to show respect. Cleanup kills are going to be there, and it seems like the Hangzhou Spark will be able to hold on to this defense. Remember, they just need to take Rain down below a minute if they want to go into overtime rounds. Primary objective is going to be to hold them off and just get the win already, but if they take them down below a minute, they themselves will get an OT push.
This was actually, the amplification matrix committed for Atlanta Rain, no value there. But otherwise, they still have a lot of ultimates, but the Spark are playing passively in that same regard. Nano Boost can be great here to actually help save Godspeed if he goes under pressure. The Hangzhou Spark have that defensive advantage around this corner, so you see Gator has to put up this experimental barrier when he does just drop into that sentry mode. There's the wall.
Matrix is out, Immortality Field. Invested from the side of the raid.
Nano.
No one's gonna fall yet. Bionade connects on a Popo and Baby Bay. They've got to be careful. Immortality is gone. Configuration tank is out for Baby Bay. Looking for a target, tossing him into the back there. Trying to find the kills. Gravitic Flux will slam him to the ground. And Rhea, he's got the kills. He takes down Dogman as well.
Insane defensive Godsby there. He goes down solo. Immortality Field is gone. Blizzard's there. And you see Gooseblade drop the barrier just in time, and they get those heals through. Amazing defense here for the Hangzhou Spark. They are turning this map around. Right now, you know, Atlanta Reign, the ball's in their court. They have the Gravitic Flux. They can try to break this bunker setup with it here. Godsby will have the tank, but they don't have a support ultimate to stop this. It's really only the Immortality Field, which they can break early. No Bionade, just missed here. It's gonna be the Flux initiation here. He needs to get into position. Here it comes.
Yep, using it right there into the corner. It's gonna be absolutely huge. Drops him down. Immortality Field is there, however, from IDK to keep them all topped up for now. Rhea gonna be picked off. Immortality Field finished off. Gator pushing around the corner.
They gotta stall.
They chip away at them. A minute and 45 seconds remaining here for the Atlanta Reign as they go on the approach. Configuration tank is out. Godsby busts his way through the main wall. He's looking for a target. He barely can spot Masa there in the back, but instead he'll find Popo. Gets rid of him. Now breaks down that barrier. Gator gonna be stunned up. Immortality Field used. Bionade connects on the 3 on the side of the Reign. They have to peel back. Barrier's coming out from Gator, but it's still very low. They get rid of Gushue. But this is going to
20
be,
seconds.
you know, less than a minute here on a finish for the side of the Atlanta Reign, unless Spark just goes AFK right now. Baby Bay taken down as he finds it. And Reign, I think you gotta call the retreat here with Popo falling as well. You gotta get out of there.
Yeah.
All the getting's good. Just try to reset and get in one more push because they need to finish this map.
They need to finish the map. They were playing for getting that draw with, you know, worst case scenario, but now they've got to play for finishing the map.
Yep, this is winnable for the Spark.
They committed the supercharger, and that's actually pretty bad because it didn't work out. That's one of the tools they would really love to have going into this next fight to set up for Baby Bay, getting into position, then having that tank. Look at this flank here for Bazzi. If this isn't absorbed, this could shut the Atlanta Reign out of this map and put us into a 2-0 lead. They don't see him.
See him communicating, comes around the side, puts a wall up, gets the freeze in. That's gonna be 4 members locked up. The Amp Matrix rather already used. Baby Bay gonna be taken down. The Immortality Field killed just beforehand.
That might be
Ball
the map.
comes up defensively from Arister. There's 20 seconds remaining as the kills continue to come in for the Spark. They might have just done it. This started with a 5-minute, 20-second push after point A. And the Spark might just be able to move up 2-0.
They're not gonna let him touch this cart. They have the configuration tank available. They have the window. Atlanta Reign don't have anything. Baby Bay's swapping. He's desperate. All they have is this
It's a very slow run back to the cart.
One chance with this.
They managed to make their way through. They're looking for the hull. Rhea nearly has the Gravitic Flux. He can force them off the cart if he can connect here. It's going to be the Accretion in the Dogman. He gets taken down. The bounce is there in the hallway. He gets finished off. Rhea going to be frozen. They get the freeze onto the configuration tank as well. The cleanup is there from Erster. He picks up 2. But is that going to be enough for them to get across that finish line? Still have to clean up 4 members of the Spark as they come back in with these respawns. Bele barely alive in the back
Rhea
corner.
has the Flux. If he can buy time here, Godsby swaps over to Trace, so they're going to try to stall.
They kill off Bebe. They're not going to have that Anubis for a little bit longer. Godsby, oh, he just can't quite make it there. They roll through to the end, and now it's going to be a minute each on the clock. Overtime will decide the winner here, or a draw on this second map of the series.
It doesn't get much closer than this. You have to say advantage to Atlanta Reign. They got A on their first push last time, so with 1 minute in the time bank, maybe they could do it again.
Maybe they can, but Spark going to be looking to adapt and predict where they're going to be coming from this second time and ensure that that point A take does not happen again. On a knife's edge right now here with a minute each for these teams.
It is down to the wire right now. Atlanta Reign almost lost their chance to take this map, and they were able to just barely finish it there in the end. A 5:20 time bank reduced to 0. I mean, it was about 5:20 when they hit B, so that was basically a 5-minute C-hold down to overtime. Hangzhou Spark having a phenomenal defense. It's not enough to get them the map win to go up to 2-0, but it is enough to give them a shot at winning this map, because it looked like after that 5:20 cap that draw scenarios were going to be on the cards as their best case scenario, but they prevented that. And it's very back and forth map with Numbani here. Atlanta's map pick, they're defending first. Hangzhou Spark are going to once again try to set up Godspeed. for this Bastion flank. Atlanta Reign, once again, the more aggressive forward position. It's not the Pharah attack here for the Hangzhou Spark, so this may come back to bite the Atlanta Reign.
I mean, it's also not going to be the Bastion here for the Reign with Baby Bay on that Reaper,
That's
so
right.
will be a very different playstyle for them on this defense.
Just trying to hold the choke here with walls and burst damage coming out from the Reaper.
You can see them both waiting around the corner. They want somebody to advance forward. Ball's going to come down. So much damage. Instantly there on the poke before they nearly get rid of that Orisa.
No grasp, it's already used.
Yep. Rid of that one as Rhea looks for a bounce angle. Ball comes in. They manage to isolate Gushue, and they will be able to take him down the Immortality Field. Unable to find anything.
Perfect
Trying to get
ball
the sun
there.
with the accretion. 20 seconds remaining. Gushue just now getting ready to respawn. Ball's coming through, buying a bit more time. They have to break their way in. Baby
Coming
Bay.
back on Hammond.
Yep, forced off the high ground. Godspeed set up there. They try to get the sun. They manage to nail it, but he's already pulled back away from the ledge. So no one is able to find the shots there to get rid of that Bastion. Baby Bay up into the face. Forces out that kinetic grasp from Rhea as Mossa gets taken down by Bebe's Bionade. Rhea's still falling lower and lower. The heals start coming in.
Coalescence.
Gushue gonna be frozen. The Coalescence is out on the point for Dogman. They almost get the kill on the Gushue, but the King punches him off. Now the Ant Matrix goes through. Godspeed is set up perfectly here. Looking for the angle, and that's gonna be Popo falling. Already 3 members gonna be caught. Riveting Flux in onto the point from Gator. Looking to set up some kills, but he can't finish anybody off, and now he himself will fall. Extended kill here onto Airster, and that will be the cap onto point A for the Spark.
This is worst case scenario for the Atlanta Reign. Not a tick, not two, but a full capture with a team wipe that gives them a free push around the corner they so desperately want to hold. Airster doesn't have Blizzard this time.
And split spawns them.
Exactly, split spawns here, gonna give it an even freer push right now. Bazzi setting up for his own Blizzard right now. Hangzhou Spark have full control. Perfect amplification matrix there from IDK to take the point. And this is a really bad situation for the Atlanta Reign.
Yep. You can see Baby there trying to go on the flank on the left side as they push their way forward. He moves up, instantly gets chunked down to about half HP. Still gonna be okay. Accretion gonna be denied by that ice block, but Cosby goes into configuration. Tank keeps himself topped up, even has that immortality field. And Evil Scoop too. Maybe they take it down as well as Gator. Blizzard comes in, they halt them all into it. Looking for the finishing blows now. As Rhea and Cosby will be taken down. Gushue over on the cart, trying to stay alive. You see IDK leaping into the air to try to keep himself safe. He will fall. It's Airster and Mossa against the world.
Blizzard's
trying
back.
to make this one happen, but the Blizzard comes in from Bazzi to ensure the victory. They buy a little bit more time in the ice block here, but Ursa going to be boosted up. Bionade and taken down. The cart will continue to advance the Spark.
They do get a lot of ultimates out of the Spark, but that is not good enough. That is not good enough. The Atlanta Reign needed to hold that corner. They had all the tools to do so. Baby's going to have Death Blossom to try to finally finish this push. If that fails, this map is basically over. It cannot let this go past B. Baby's going to try to set up for this Blossom. Can be kinetic grasp or accretion here by Rhea. He's the man of the hour. Immortality Field 2 going to be a great deterrent. Here he comes. He's
Down 2.5 meters away, and Baby Bay gets picked off. No, Death Blossom here. The sound barrier is still committed. Now the Coalescence in on the backside, and Mossa gets frozen and taken down. Now Popo falling as well. Godspeed is untouched in the back line, and he is just wrecking face. Nice block out from Ursa, but it ends the same way that it did on that first corner. After A, he gets taken down, and that's point B. Gained for the Spark, an insane overtime push.
Baby Bay, he has to be the hero here. You know, he's missed a few of these Blossoms so far in these first two maps. This one needs to be big. It's already too late, but they can't let this map finish with 1 minute. An overtime finish into a one push to finish it from Hangzhou Spark. Be totally ridiculous turnaround.
After nearly being full held on the get-go. They have the Bastion set up. Gator's gone again. Death Blossom is down. But Cosby cuts him down. He gets another. He gets a fourth. That is the wipe, and the Hangzhou Spark will not stop.
It will not stop. There's nothing left here but a Blizzard for the Atlanta Reign. And there's so many ways to shut this down now for Hangzhou Spark. Look at where Bazzi's standing right now. He's gonna try to Blizzard them out of spawn. He's so close.
Waiting around the
They're
corner.
going the other way.
Gator has he
Here
spotted him.
comes-
The answer is going to be no. Throws down the Blizzard. Not going to be able to find too much, but Godspeed, it doesn't matter. He's still set up on the cart. He is still untouched. They finally get the freeze, but the Bionade goes through to try to keep him alive, and they manage to do so. He goes into configuration tank to try to finish him off the 2-for-1 on the final shot. Mossa and Gator get knocked out of the park, and they manage to push all the way to the end of Numbani.
Baby Bay's face says it all. This is worst case scenario for the Atlanta Reign. A 5:20 time bait goes down to overtime, and Hangzhou Spark make the 1 minute push to finish. Atlanta Reign are going to have to do the exact same. That is all they could do here to tie this map.
Absolutely nuts from the side of the Spark. Unbelievable push. Anytime you see somebody go the distance with a minute.
Most teams, too, will pick defending first because you feel like, okay, I've set my win condition. Whether they take A, how far they push the cart. This is where I know my win condition is. As the second attacking team, I could set my composition based on those expectations, right? That's why most teams will choose to defend first on maps like Hybrid, map types like Hybrid. Lana Rain now attacking second. How can you keep your mentality straight here? How can you even feel like this is possible? We just watched a miracle happen. We really saw two on this map already, to be fair, from the Hangzhou Spark, the 520 defense and the 1 minute push. And you were so close to winning the map. If you're Atlanta Reign, you were so close to winning it. Now the hourglass is turned around the other way and you're running out of sand. 1 minute, they have to take this on the first push. There is no other option.
See if they can get it done. Repeat the miracle push. Need to have that explosive first attack.
It's going to be a Bastion Mei attack here. Similar or same compositions across these two teams. Baby trying to go for the flank here. Very risky, but you got to take risks when you're in this situation.
The same exact setup here. They don't have Bazzi playing forward this time. Wall
Good
comes
wall.
up. Cuts off a lot of the members of the team. Baby Bay just helps break down that Mei wall so the rest of the Reign can push forward. Immortality Field gonna be out. Baby Bay gets rid of IDKs, but now he's gonna be walled up, does not have an angle. Tries to push his way forward. The wall is out. Cretion hits onto Gushue. Bionade hits 5! And that's gonna be Gosby taken down, now Rhea falling. The Reign might have just done it. They've broken their way forward on the point A. That'll be the cleanup coming through. They will be able to get a cap here. Hangzhou Spark crumble on A again, but still, this is the hard part. Can they go the distance all the way to the end of Numbani in overtime?
The first step is taking this corner. Dogman gave them a chance. He gave them an opportunity with that Bionade. Now they have to control this corner. That's why they've got only Dogman and Masa on the cart. Everyone else playing forward. Let's watch this again from Dogman. Huge Bio Grenade hits all of them. That gets them A. Let's see how far he can go. They have this corner controlled. Hangzhou know they just have to stop this at any point. So they're going to play back. They're going to give the free push here, try to build their ultimates. If they can force Atlanta to use their ultimates first, they'll have that advantage.
See Bazzi coming through, gets the boost up there on a Baby Bay, and he gets taken down. Cosby manages to find the kill. Now Gator gonna fall. This could be it right here. The Immortality Field gonna be finished off. And Matrix is out, but there's no one really to benefit from it. Popo gonna fall there off the car, and that is gonna be it. The Hangzhou Spark. They don't let him get very far. They let him take A, but that's about as good as it gets for the Atlanta Reign. Spark now take the lead 2-0.
Spark breaking all expectations here, setting up a miracle defense into that miracle push. And they are now up 2-0, 2 maps away from moving on.
Halfway there from advancing in the playoffs and sending the Atlanta Reign home. Dangerously close to a position where they have to reverse sweep. Atlanta Reign gonna have to think well and hard on their next map choice and then execute and try to get a win on the board. We'll see if they can do that when we come back.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile. State Farm. Whatever life brings your way, State Farm is here to help life go right. And by Xfinity. Xfinity X5 gives you the speed you need to game like a pro.
At least you guys get to go home early, and it's good for them, right? To get a little break.
Yeah, all the Koreans love to go to Korea, dude.
Exactly.
They just want to go home.
You guys get to go back to Korea, no problem.
No problem. We'll send you home, dude.
Yeah, no problem.
Strong words from the Atlanta boys. That, of course, was before they were down 0-2 coming into our game break. Welcome, everybody. This is our Cheez-Its halftime. I'm your host, Chris Puckett, and I've got our team with us. We've got Sideshow and Bren, who predicted the spark today. And then we have Zoe here. And I have to start with you, Zoe, because you called Atlanta on the pre-show. Do you have faith in your boys? Can they back up those strong words coming into the match?
That's a great question, Puckett. Back to you.
Back to me.
I mean, I wish I could back it up. Unfortunately, they took a lot of fights they shouldn't have taken. And yeah, well, let's see what the second half is going to bring.
Of course, this is an elimination match, but these two teams matched up in Stage 4. That time, it went to the rain, but today, it's a very different story, and we got to talk about how we got here. Going all the way back to Busan, this was map 1 in our series, the first of 4, and you just saw initially, it was Hangzhou Spark taking control of the point. In that second round, they dominated.
In the pre-show, I highlighted one thing that Bazzi needs to do is he needs to be on point with a lot of his counter punches coming onto Erster, because Erster is the dominant force for the Atlanta Reign. And boy, was he the dominant force in this game, it felt like, actually. A lot of the times, Erster was coming in for punches. Bazzi would be there with a punch of his own, trying to shut them down.
That was so nice.
Like, this is sick by Erster, but this is the kind of guy that you're going to be up against. You need to be putting a lot of resources into shutting him down. Hangzhou Spark definitely did that.
I like the aggression that the Spark played with as well. Whenever they were on defense, they would take the fight to the Atlanta Reign and not give them space to be able to set up. And that, I think, was one of the big issues for Atlanta, is they're giving too much space to the Spark. And when you have all of that space, you can set up plays and make things happen and end up winning fights.
Talking about space, we know that Sigma, of course, is always creating space as one of the tanks, but the other tank, Orisa, has been a key to almost every team throughout these playoffs, and they're constantly setting up the damage dealers. How are they getting that job done?
Yeah, I'm going to use the Atlanta Reign as an example here, but honestly, it's both teams doing it. So I've got an Insights powered by Intel, where I want to run through the Supercharger, the ultimate for the Orisa, and it's so powerful. So let's take a look from Pokpo's point of view in that fight where Erster got 3 of them. You can see Erster comes in, gets demolished, but let's look at this from a free cam and see exactly how Pokpo empowered the rest of his team. This is the setup here, and what's going to happen when you have the Supercharger available is normally they're going to aim to try and place these just here behind the line of sight so that you can't get it. But Atlanta have to play aggressive in this fight. They're trying to go as fast as possible. So Pokpo's going to place his shield down really aggressively into them. Instead, place the Supercharger much further forwards. And we're going to see both Dogman utilize his ultimate, as well as Erster dive in from the top and do a lot of damage onto them there. But this all happens in a split second. I'm going to wind this back to the beginning. See how quickly this occurs. Immediately, Pokpo puts down his Supercharger and the shield, and Baby Bay and Erster are right in the back lines, attacking people immediately. That damage gets boosted on everything, and the coalescence as well coming in from Dogman. These are the kind of decisive moves that Atlanta Reign need to continue to make, and this was a beautiful little setup, showcasing why the Orisa ultimate is so important. It got focused down within 2 seconds there, but they still managed to find value from it because they're so precise with how they moved in. But that needs to happen much more often for the Atlanta Reign.
Keep looking for more of that as this series goes on, but we have to talk about what happened in the second map, because I thought this was where Atlanta was storming back. They had a pretty decent defense. They gave up 3 points, but their opponent ran out of time. But then it was Atlanta kind of stalling out on their own attack after having 3 minutes to finish that final point.
Yeah, I mean, they had a really good start, right? But then they kind of just really struggled going up against those Bastion kind of bunker comes. And that's something we've seen them struggling with in the past. This is not the first time, and still, they frankly haven't quite figured it out. They don't take the right angles. They just kind of start to run in there. They take a lot of fights where they shouldn't be taking them and overcommit where they really shouldn't. And overall, that just makes them be one man down more often than not.
Yeah, the one thing I've noticed that the Hangzhou Spark are really excelling at, actually, is how well they're working as a team. And what I mean by that is their cooldown usage is fantastic. They know exactly who needs to be where at what times. Bazzi is always contesting the cards at the right times. Everyone's pumping every resources they can into Godspeed to ensure that he stays alive, because they know that the Bastion is the key to these compositions. Atlanta Reign struggling to follow up on a lot of the halts coming out from Pokpo, actually, across the board, which is one of the keys you need to try and break these Bastion compositions.
I also think that specifically the positioning from the Spark has been quite sublime, honestly. They made it really hard for the Atlanta Reign to find a target and go for it, because they were spread out on the right moments. We saw that when they tried to get point A. Baby Bay was really confused. He didn't know what direction to go and actually output his damage. And that happened more than in just one team fight.
This is giving me flashbacks to their game against New York, though. They're down 0-2 at the half, and they're struggling against Bastion compositions. So when you think back to that game on Rialto, and Sabiorbi just held them on his Bastion for minutes and minutes and minutes, this is clearly something that the coaches need to address in this half.
Right now, the Atlanta Reign are just 2 games away from being eliminated and finishing in the top 6 this season. But it's not done yet. In fact, it's crunch time presented by Cheez-It Groups. Let's talk about how Atlanta gets back in this series. If you can name one player, who needs to lead them?
It's always got to be Erster. This guy's been a phenom the entire season long. He's growing a mustache for the playoffs, making sure that he looks his best.
Playoff beard, gotta love it.
But the entire season, he's been excellent. You know, 14th out of 122, highest on his team in the player impact rating. And we've seen him all throughout Stage 4 on the Hangzhou and the May. Now in the playoffs, still dominant.
We know we're going to Anubis next. Do you want to see him on the Hangzhou? Do you want to see him on the Doomfist again? Where do we need to see Erster on this next map?
Doomfist has the highest carry potential, I'd say, at least. It's one of those heroes you can really flex on. And it suits the kind of map that they're going to be playing into quite well. But it's a difficult match for them because now they're on the back foot, if you will, because they're currently 0-2 down. There's still no team in the history of our playoffs that has actually won a series after being 0-2 down so far in the first 2 maps. It's going to be hard for them. And Erster, he's got a lot on his plate already. He wasn't having an awful game in those first 2 maps. It comes down to a lot of the coordination, a lot of the setups are not really there as well from the tank line being followed up on, like I said earlier. Erster, I mean, I don't want to say keep playing your own game because clearly that hasn't worked out too well. But he is playing very, very well. So it's hard to really point the blame in his direction.
All right, Erster is going to be the key player to lead his team. When we come back, we got a big Game 3. Don't go anywhere. This is an elimination match. We got Hangzhou going up against the Reign. Game 3 after this.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Pringles Wavy. They're not Pringles.
Welcome back, everyone. Emily Tang here, and the Spark are up 2-0 coming into Map 3. I had the chance to speak with both teams before the match, and the Atlanta Reign will need to kick it up into high gear if they want to bring it back and win. But there is hope, as they spent their past week working on their fundamentals without necessarily focusing on the Spark. They did mention that Bazzi is the Hangzhou player to watch, and they're just waiting for his Doomfist to slip. Which is fair because the Spark also mentioned that Bazzi hasn't been getting a lot of playtime this whole season, and he spent all of Stage 4 perfecting his Doomfist. Now, the Rain knows that Gator is absolutely crushing it on Sigma, and will be looking for him to step it up today. He's been so good at punishing DPS players and has incredible enemy awareness. Now, Gator knows when to use his ult and currently has one of the highest rates of Sigma ult kills. The Rain are trying to turn around against the only remaining Chinese team. The only thing different about this team today is that Dogman has been sick and quarantined the entire week, so you might be hearing him scream a little less than usual. All right, Wolf and Achilleos, back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Emily. Good to hear the check in there. I mean, so far, going back to the point about Gator, not really being able to perform against Rhea. You know, Rhea's really setting the bar way up here, and Gator's been slipping a little bit.
He's been slipping a little bit, but I really have to more so give credit to the Spark players. Bazzi setting up a lot of these big plays on the Doomfist, on, you know, later on the May. So setting up a lot of blizzards that really shut down that incredible time bank there of the Atlanta Rain. You know, I think it's Baby Bay who's really had more struggles than anyone else in trying to get value at his ultimates. You can't blame Baby Bay, though. It's the DPS players who are killing him first, preventing him from setting up for these big Death Blossoms. You know, he's had a few Death Blossoms he used a little bit late in team fights, but, you know, there have been some issues in the synergy. Dogman, on the other hand, I know he's been sick, but he is playing phenomenally with the Bionades so far, and also his shutdown of the Pharah.
Yeah, I mean, set up here for the Ana. It's been very good for Dogman despite the circumstances. See here, we will be heading directly into Temple of Anubis, as the Hangzhou Spark will be looking to move up to match point. You can see, though, historically, not a good map for the Spark. 3-7 their record, 5-2, however, for the Atlanta Rain, so much stronger history here with Temple. But we'll have to see how they fare, as it will be Atlanta starting things off on the defense first.
Atlanta will defend first. Not going to see any sort of dive strategy here for the Hangzhou Spark. Adora, you know, oddly absent here, but as Emily just pointed out, Bazzi's been preparing the Doomfist for so long that, you know, it looks like Bazzi's just surpassed him as the specialist on the Doomfist. Bazzi, you know, a hit scan player, as I mentioned earlier, it's normally Adora who takes up that dive role. It's very impressive. He's completely changed roles here, and it's coming up big.
Going to be punching across to get to safety with the rest of his team.
We've already gotten halfway to, you know, reasonable fight to take here. Orb already on cooldown for Dogman, so this is their chance to really collapse in.
Slow and steady, just trying to push their way out of this doorway.
You can see Masa up on the high ground really trying to get that opening knock into a pick.
Yeah. Whereas the Doomfist, you got to show restraint. You know you're going to get a guaranteed punch if you try to go through that hallway, but you can also likely be taken down, much like Masa was, as he sets up the first punch. For another one there, Airster going to be finished off. Now the Seismic Slam in with the uppercut. Bebe builds up that coalescence very rapidly. Takes down Pokeball. Now Dogman going to fall as well. That is going to be the crumble of the Rain here on point A.
It's a perfect storm here for the Hangzhou Spark. I mean, you get that opening pick onto Masa, and you're also taking more damage overall in the choke, so with more healing available, Bebe gets the faster coalescence, gets to come in there and tear it up, take that first fight, and then obviously get B right afterwards. So a fairly solid opening here for the Hangzhou Spark, great time bank. And for the Atlanta Rain, I mean, they're gonna have Death Blossom first, but those have been whiffing for Baby Bay this series. Hopefully this one will be impactful. He's gonna need it. Dogman's got coalescence at least to buy time here. Very unlikely to be the double capture with no ults online for Spark.
Well, we'll see.
Bazzi might change it, you know, I mean, he's gotten a lot of final blows this series.
And he has. Shots coming through. Bazzi already finds one. Baby Bay gonna be taken down. Gravitic Flux comes in. Gator slams him back down, but the sound barrier from IDK keeps everybody alive for now. Uppercut in from Bazzi, gets greeted with an accretion, stunned up there for the moment, but still gonna be alive and in the fight. Coalescence now gonna be used. Dogman taken down, Airster falling. Sound barrier used from Masa, connects on to 3. As he trying to get the punch, goes into the back, now gets the uppercut here, isolates Gator up in the skies, takes him down. That will just about be it. One tick gonna be gained. Now is in a panic mode for the side of the Atlanta Rain. Can they buy enough time? Airster gonna be eliminated. And that will just be it. 4 minutes and 43 seconds. The Hangzhou Spark explode onto the scene, and Temple of Anubis getting that double cap.
Bazzi's just got Baby Bay's number. Every single time he's killing him first. He's shutting down the potential for these Death Blossoms. Ultimate control in this series to Hangzhou and Bazzi. Not even a chance. 5 times the damage in the Doomfist v Doomfist to Bazzi. Airster with sub 500. Never even given a chance.
I mean, again, it's Atlanta Rain in a spot where they have to try to match. Let's see if they can do it when we come back for their attack.
Support your team with official Overwatch League Coca-Cola bottles at cokestore.com. Ships to all 50 U.S. states, Washington, D.C., and U.S. P.O. boxes.
And welcome back. Hangzhou Spark, despite their record on Temple of Anubis, look absolutely fantastic on their first attack. 4 minutes and 43 seconds set up in the time bank. That is insane. And now the Reign have to try to match it or just complete the map to begin with. That should be the first goal, I
That's
suppose.
the first goal. I mean, you got to start with A. Baby Bay has really just been completely nullified by Bazzi, though, in this series. You don't really think of the Doomfist Reaper matchup as one that Doomfist dominates and shuts down the Reaper, but Bazzi is just really controlling so much of Baby Bay's setups here. It looks like he's just going to go for the fast teleport here, then we'll swap back to the comp that they are showing right now. But I got to say, Baby is really going to have to step it up. He's going to have to find more value in a lot of these team fights. He's going to have to use those Death Blossoms, a really impactful ultimate
He's
in this
sticking
meta.
with it. This isn't going to be the TP forward. This is going to be the stick, it would seem.
All right, so changing it up. I like to see it, but very risky.
Seeing a lot of teams start to go for the Symmetra, especially on attack here in Temple of Anubis. Something that cost London quite dearly in their final series. Just constantly build up that energy against these enemy barriers. Dive in, comes through from Bazzi. He gets chunked down to half, does manage to survive. Mortality field now going to be gone. Look at the TP straight into the thick of things. Baby Bay bounces his way back, but he's got a great angle here on a good way. Tries to finish him off with the help of Masa. Will be able to do so. Gator, however, was caught out by the point by himself. Will be finished off.
This is going to be enough, though.
They get the stun. Bazzi's going to be eliminated. Big potential still going to be there for the side of the Atlanta Reign as Ursa gets top back up, and Baby nearly has his ult online, but would love to save that 4-point B. TP is set up.
Godspeed denying.
On the high ground, yeah, does go ahead and takes that one away, but gets the right-click charge in onto Bebe, finishing him off. Now Rhea going to fall. Not quite as explosive, a bit more slow going here for the side of the Reign, but they have broken through. They will get this cap on A.
This is definitely going to be a great team fight for B for them if they can utilize this photon barrier correctly. You can set up a lot of insane damage coming out from the tank line, as funny as it sounds, across the photon barrier that's not really easily countered. You can also set up really easy rocket punches. Aristar can wait behind the barrier, the rocket punch in, whereas he won't be able to be, you know, blasted down by the tank line because the barrier will protect him.
Oh, well, Masa going to be taken down. I'm going to say, I really like the turret setup there from Baby. They initially was hoping that Bazzi was going to be diving into them for a seismic slam. That way the turrets could just burn right through him, but doesn't have that happen.
It's going to have to be a reset here. Baby Bay's just stepping on the point, will die, and they'll set up again.
Yep.
So already going to be the worst time bank here, but it might not be that bad if they could turn this next fight into a great one. They have,
I mean, anything 4 minutes plus especially is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, they have the supercharger, and, you know, we saw, you know, obviously as was explained during halftime, how much of an impact that can make for setting up big plays. Dogman, if he gets a good right click in off of his damage orb, might be able to get the coalescence. So there is a real win condition here, and that's going to be a great start. No sound barrier. They could commit in now. Photon barrier's up.
Alrighty, Okay, take it down. Fantastic start here from Baby Bay. Mercer goes in with a seismic slam, and Basti's going to be taken down. Baby Bay finds another one, looking well at home here with the Symmetra so far. Tom Barrier out across the point, trying to cut them off, but Gosby comes back in, manages to find the kill. Meteor Strike going to be used. Gosby uses a Death Blossom, takes down 2. And it was such a good start. It felt so good for the Reign, but they will lose out on that push. Can't quite get that first tick either.
It's a very expensive push for both teams, but when you're already ahead in time bank, the winner here is Spark by a large margin. The Photon Barrier was a great setup, but watch Godsby. He's going to come in here. Now look at the overextension here. Flux catches everyone, so there's no retreat, and they're dropped on the wrong side of the Photon Barrier, so he's able to just come in and clean them up. Even if they were behind, he could have just walked through. Great setup there, great ult combo.
I mean, Baby Bay just kind of fell right in front of his shotgun. Wasn't even intending for that. Just wanted the supercharger, but got the bonus kill there. Onto his now Reaper counterpart as Baby Bay wraps around the backside of the point. Going to apply some pressure. The Hulk in, Bazzi goes for the punch. Fortify greets him. Both keeping himself safe. Meteor Strike's ready to go.
Could be big.
Bazzi's going to be dropping into the back, but he's got to try to get around these barriers. Drops through. Still going to be alive. So much HP from that shielding. And can't make it out alive. Popo manages to find the kill. Gushboy going lower and lower. Dogman's trying to kill him off with the Coalescence, but so far has not been able to do so. Wraps back around here towards the front of the point. Throws out the barrier from the flank. Looking to keep him, the rest of his teammates safe. Cretion connects in onto the enemy Orisa barrier as Gushboy will fall. An all-out brawl here onto the point. Atlanta Reign, though, need to get that cap. They're down to 3 minutes remaining at the moment.
Okay, Supercharger's going to come out here to buy time, and Sound Barrier is going to be one of their greatest tools here if they can get it off. IDK drops it.
Eliminated. Ursa falling low. Dive into the back here with the Sound Barrier, and Bazzi manages to find the kill onto his enemy Doomfist.
Huge turnaround potential here.
Supercharger now going to be gone. The Gravitic Flux comes in, manages to catch 2. They were just on the edge of it. They get dropped back in the Spark. Will be able to hold this one off. Baby Bay tries to get the ult off, but it's not going to find anything. He'll get Godsby in the end, but that is it.
Baby
just shy of 2 ticks.
He's just coming up empty on all of these Death Blossoms. He's not finding anything. He's stunned. He's blown up. He's rocket punched. Never finding value out of the Death Blossom. Godsby, on the other hand, massively outclassing him in terms of these ult setups. We saw the Flux combo just previously, and IDK gets that Sound Barrier off with 10% health. He barely makes it happen. He returns to the point, and without that, they would not have been able to hold. Now they're going to have their own set of ultimates here, including Coalescence, to try to defend this. Dogman, if he has to use it first, it's not going to be good for the Reign, but he may have no choice.
He's very low on juice, so has to send out that damage orb. Uses the Coalescence first, as you say. Bazzi going to get picked. Masa there to capitalize, finds that killing blow. They still have to worry about Godsby with the Death Blossom. He's going to be using it here, but he gets cut down. Baby Bay this time is the counter. Gets rid of that enemy Reaper. The Gravitic Flux comes in from Gator, slams Oriya back down to the ground, and Ursa's there on cleanup duty, finds himself a double kill. The halted, IDK will fall. They're still looking for that second tick with 1.5 minutes remaining. Atlanta Reign finally starting to gain some ground here on the point. The TP forward, the Meteor Strike in. They make it up to 87.5%. They clean up Bazzi. Have to get a bit more to the Reign. Want to finish with as much time as they possibly can, above 1 minute here, so they don't give anything over to the side of the Spark.
IDK is buying so much time here. It's actually insane.
We're right there in the front. Will get taken down. They get the push back, but oh, Baby Bay, he gets sent straight into IDK with the Death Blossom rolling. Not the setup that the Spark were looking here for the defense. Baby Bay finally finds his pop-up moment here in the 11th hour. They get the cleanup, and with 1 minute and 2 seconds remaining, you can see that sigh of relief come out. They have finished Temple of Anubis, but now they got to get ready for overtime.
Yeah, and you say in the 11th hour, he finally finds that pop-off moment. He finally gets that Death Blossom setup he's looking for. He's knocked into the other team. You know, small mistake there on the Spark, but it was going to be a big Blossom either way. But it's a bit too late. The 3.5 minutes, a little bit more than 3.5 minutes behind in time bank. Just over a minute here. They had a great attack on Numbani. Were able to take that first point early on their first attack, right before we went to overtime. They're going to have to repeat a performance like that. And it just feels like the Hangzhou Spark are finding their defensive counter to how the Atlanta Reign play. They're punching second. Urster comes in, rocket punches first. Bazzi catches him oftentimes. Baby Bay trying to look for the flanks. Bazzi finds him. Bazzi's just kind of shutting everybody down right now. IDK is making great decisions with his ultimates. And you know, it's been discussed a lot on our analyst tests, it's been discussed around the community. You know, a lot of pros talking about how maybe attacking an offense and being aggressive is the way to play this meta, but Hangzhou Spark is kind of changing the narrative on that, playing very reactionary, very passively, playing very far back, and it's working extremely well for them. And right now, Atlanta Reign's really got just one shot at this. They do not want to go down to match point. but they may very well with the huge time bank difference here.
Let's see how they fare. Again, Baby Bay going to be using the Symmetra. No surprises here.
And full commitment.
Let's look to TP them across the other side to safety.
Had a great start on the previous attack when he got that charge up.
Okay, not going to be going for the left side approach. They're changing it up, move over to the right. The punch from Bazzi not going to connect. They TP over onto the point. Now they're in behind, but Airstrick is taken down and Gator will fall as well. Hangzhou Spark are ready for this one, but they still manage to grab a tick. 1.5 to be exact here. As they get pushed out of the immortality field, trying to stay alive, trying to turn this fight around miraculously, but Bazzi says no. Shuts down Dogman, and now it's time for the fast reset. Atlanta Reign has to get back in here. One more chance.
Baby Bay hands off the keyboard here. They know this is almost impossible to turn around right now. Respawns in, but it is going to be a long road. Look at Bazzi, very far forward. Unusual for him, but he's got the drop down set up.
Yep. Ready and waiting, looking for the pick. Gets the punch in Gator, nearly taken down, but Baby Bay's gonna be the first to fall. Rhea finds that killing blow. The punch is there, Masa can't tag. 49.9% is as good as it gets for the Atlanta Reign. Now they have to try to hold off the Spark for 4 minutes and 43 seconds if they want to take the victory on Temple of Anubis.
We know it's possible. We know it's doable. We saw it on Numbani. Spark already proved that huge time banks can be defeated. They can be depleted. But for the Atlanta Reign, mentality does not seem to be at a high right now. In fact, perhaps at an all-time low here for postseason. Their win streak was crushed by New York. Their first loss to New York after 3 matches. They were 2-0 before that. New York strikes back. And it feels like the Atlanta Reign have been tumbling on a downward spiral ever since in this series. And it just feels like where we started on Control, close map, we go then into Numbani, and they have the better time bank. They force Hangzhou into overtime. But ever since that overtime round, things have really just been downhill. The Hangzhou Spark really only have to win one team fight here. They're not going to be running the Symmetra. They're just going to be running the Doomfist that they've been playing so well with the Reaper. Airster going back to the Mei. I do like this choice. Blizzard could be a great time buy if you can get it up fast enough. And then just kind of toss those in. If you can keep that Blizzard cycle going, that's one great way to control either the point or the choke on either side, left or right. Bazzi actually going to match here, unless they're just teasing us with this Bastion. Kind of an unusual comp here that I don't think Reign is going to expect.
Yeah, don't really have a way of scouting this one out either.
Yeah, we see this on Numbani, but not so much Anubis. It's very hard to close this gap without a teleport. They're going to have to use the ice wall.
There's the wall up. Baby Bay already boosted. Barriers just going to be chipped away at. The immortality fields come out from both sides. Baby Bay stunned up from the accretion, but not going to be able to be punished.
I think they're going to have to use Bazzi's wall to close this distance. They're using it to try to get a pick, but Atlanta Reign are ready for this.
Yep, Gator just sitting up into the front, absorbing everything that he can. Baby Bay is taking a nap, and a huge Bionade connects as Gator falls. Don't have that barrier set up, and this is catastrophic now for the side of the Atlanta Reign. Gator doesn't swap off. He barely has anything built up.
He has to carry.
Does he just go over to the Wrecking Ball? So far, the answer is going to be no. Godspeed nearly falling. Already has Configuration Tank online. Baby Bay still 38% away from that.
Coalescence has to be big here for Dogman, and then maybe they can get a Blizzard off. There is a chance here for the Reign, but it's a slim one.
Gator has swapped over onto the Reinhardt. He's charging his way back in. He's nearly rejoined here with the rest of the team. Configuration Tank now going to be drawn out. Firing shots into the back. The shield comes up. Masa uses the air matrix, but Baby Bay falls. Goochway finds the kill. Godspeed announcing form going to be finishing. Get rid of the immortality field, but now they need the kills. Do the Atlanta Reign. Still down a member as Baby Bay swaps over onto the Doomfist to try to rejoin quickly. 2 members walled into the side, both tanks. Now trying to rejoin. They push forward, but it's a Bastion up against the Rhine shield. You know which one wins. Ice block going to be expiring here. The Blizzard is out. They managed to get the freeze on the 2. Gushway sunned up. Godspeed, however, not going to be punished. While frozen, Baby Bay going to be locked down, taken out. Gushway. Gator's going to side of the Spark. Is that going to be enough? He does have the Shatter, but can he get the setup to use it?
This is such a close fight.
Now Gator going to be taken down. Popo unable to stay alive. They can't get enough healing now. It's both supports. Mortality field comes out. The Amp Matrix used by IDK. Looking for the kills and trying to fire through to finish off Masa. He's going lower and lower. Doesn't quite have that stuff healing alive. He's still staying in it. Maybe they rejoin with the Doomfist. Gets the seismic slam kill onto IDK. And he might have just bought enough time. The Gushway comes back in. Takes down Dogman. Baby Bay going to be gone. Godspeed's here on the Widowmaker. He's taking shots at Gator. Chucks him down to half. Bump's going to be taken down. No tank line here for the side of the Spark. But now, no tank line for the Atlanta Reign. Dogman, he's alive, but he's not there. They're not close enough. They cannot tag in. They cannot deny this attack. They bought so much time. It looked like maybe they could turn that around, but instead the Hangzhou Spark persevere. They come out on top, and now they're at match point.
Atlanta Reign with a heroic defense. The Reinhardt swap coming through. Airster tries to touch on the Tracer. They're doing everything they can. Dogman comes up big with the Coalescence, but it's just not enough. You see Gunsy pull out the Widow. He's got full line of sight. It's fish in the barrel, and Hangzhou Spark are one map away from taking this series and advancing forward and knocking the Atlanta Reign out after a wonderful postseason.
One final map choice here for the side of the Atlanta Reign. Let's see if it's enough to start a reverse sweep or if the Spark just advance 4-0.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. Omen, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. And by Zip Chair Gaming, the official chair supplier of the Overwatch League.
Hello, hello.
Hello?
Hello, hello.
Mic check, mic check. Gang, gang.
Hello?
Oh my god, Ray, you're so
You guys are doing great.
Where?
Long time no see, guys.
Long time no see, bro.
Gator, how does it feel to be back on the Overwatch League stage, buddy?
Feels nice, man, you know.
Yeah.
Let's go!
Who said that?
Me.
Who? Me! Oh! Ouch! Ouchie.
Yo, you have gum?
I'm
chilling.
Give me a gum. Give me a gum.
Pass it down. Pass the gum down.
Oh my god, oh my god! Oh my god! Rising uppercut! I haven't had a prank one forever.
Eh?
Yo, Nevix, you're looking scrumptious today.
Striker.
Yeah?
You're so handsome.
I know.
If they...
He's got really good ankle muscles.
When you come here, dude, we just wear extra pants. I wear 2 sweatpants underneath.
Ah! Choi fighting! Choi!
Thank you guys. Thank you guys.
Choi fighting.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Who is that?
I'm dead.
Always fun to check in with the comms checks there. You know, that winning moment versus the shock at the finish there for the side of the Atlanta Reign. Not seeing as much celebration at the moment. They need to pull off a reverse sweep if they want to stay in the playoffs. Right now, the Spark looking at a 4-0 to send them home.
I mean, Atlanta Reign have had some great moments this season. They beat New York twice. They just recently defeated the San Francisco Shock, favorites to win the whole tournament. Losing to New York, though, things have been kind of on the decline. And I think this would be something that Atlanta fans remember forever, is if they're able to make this reverse sweep happen. And they've had so many iconic moments this season. This would be the cherry on top, right? To, after being down 0-3 and having their mentality just so completely destroyed by the Spark DPSs here. I mean, it would be a huge turnaround.
Well, as you can see, nothing but pink there so far for the winner's side. Going to turn that one around with a final map choice of Watchpoint Gibraltar. So even if they can win this, then they're going up against the Sparks map picks for the remainder of the series to try and engineer a victory. We'll see if they can do that. Will be Atlanta again starting on the defense first. And as you can see, they have not yet won a single round of Gibraltar this season.
Surprising map pick. Well, the Atlanta Reign, you know, when you think back, sure, Baby Bay really filled the shoes of Defran, who retired early in the season. But when you look at the flex tank role, you know, which we often kind of place Sigma in, the tanks we've seen from Atlanta, we had Daco, right, missing for a while. FRD filled his shoes and really came in to be the main flex tank of Atlanta Reign. And here at the final hour, it's actually a third one in Gator, right? So they've seen 3 different players through 3 different metas and eras here in the Overwatch League in 2019, and Gator has to step up. You know, he's one of the big hyped Sigma players, but Rhea's outperforming him right now. And they're gonna have to turn this around here with a good defense. It's the Bastion May once again, and Hangzhou Spark, once scouting this, will match.
See right there, be the first reverse sweep for the Atlanta Reign if they can pull it off. So, to do it for the first time in such an impactful moment, be so very impressive. Not setting up aggressively, they're not playing up top, just in front of the spawn, are playing back here.
Yeah, using the corner, exactly.
Boost up there onto Baby Bay. Now the sleep dart coming in. They have a barrier there to protect him for a little bit longer. They'll get the drop down.
Really nice.
He's safe for now.
Wall there from Gator to actually keep him alive. He himself is kind of caught though.
Yeah, they wall him, but there's no one in a position to actually capitalize on that, but this does reroute them.
Yeah, they get the corner from this, and now they can go down through this archway.
Oh, really aggressive drop down coming in. Bionade connects on a good way, but Baby Bay's the first one to fall. Now it's all for naught. Godspeed finds a second as Masa will be taken down. Immortality Field getting finished off. Godspeed will be eliminated by Dogman, but that's in his dying breath as Grushway finishes him off and then follows up onto Airster.
This is, I mean, the only thing the best word I could use to describe that drop down was haphazard. I mean, there was really no plan other than we're going to try to surprise them and burst down a single target. But when you do that, you don't have full synergy. You can't call targets correctly, and Hangzhou Spark just reacted perfectly.
Oh, Baby Bay. Sliver of HP now walled off, finished off there. No chance to contest. I mean, that's just going to be nearly 5 minutes of the time bank here for the Spark. Bazzi already pushing forward into the hangar, taking these pot shots.
At first, we really had to give credit to Hangzhou Spark's DPSs for cutting Baby Bay off so many times in a lot of these team fights, especially when holding that critical Death Blossom ultimate. This is going to be just a stagger. Tried to delay, but actually hurts him himself in the end. But now I think we really have to be critical of Baby Bay's approaches. I mean, this is not the level of play we expect to see from someone who came up big in the DPS role here after leaving Shock, coming to Atlanta on the bench for the beginning of the season, but really came in as one of the big carry players for this team. He's not coming up big when they need him most here in the postseason in this final match.
Yeah, he got dinked right on the entry there. Ant Matrix going to be tossed down as they drop down behind the cart. However, configuration tank firing through, and Ant Matrix is there for Godspeed. Gets rid of that immortality field, but IDK going to fall. Baby Bay comes up big with that flank, but it's just not enough, it would seem. A 3-for-3 so far. Hangzhou Spark still have Godspeed alive. He'll drop down. The Blizzard is out. Looking to freeze him up. In behind, and Baby Bay drops down, manages to find the kills, and it is enough. In fact, Atlanta Reign barely managed to hold it on. You can see Pogbo, sliver of HP remaining for him, has to retreat.
Very careful defensive setup here for the Atlanta Reign, letting Hangzhou Spark first setting up the secondary Blizzard there. Coming in after Hangzhou kind of used the majority of their ultimates they were trying to finish that point with. And Atlanta Reign do get Baby Bay to hit those headshots when the freezes come through. He's going to have another Death Blossom here soon. Let's hope he can hit it big this time.
Being under the dropship for Godspeed. Drop down again coming through. Gravitic fluxes out, manages to catch, I believe, 3, but the fade was there from Bebe to keep himself safe, but IDK left out the dry. He gets taken down. Bebe going to be using that Death Blossom. Not really anybody there to receive it, but the rest of his team still doing some solid work in trying to win this fight. As he trying to retreat, gets himself into a corner just about. Gator will be able to finish him off, so the card still remains here.
It's not the most impactful Death Blossom, but when you're in a situation like this, sometimes you just commit it because, you know, if one thing goes wrong, if Bazzi gets one more pick, then everything could turn around in an instant. He's already a fourth of the way to his next one, but it is something they're going to be missing now. They get to keep control of the shuttle, which is where they've had the most success here on the defense with so far, up on that high ground. And that gives them the opportunity to drop down. It also gives, was giving a lot of poke for Airster. He swapped back over the Doomfist though.
Coalescence going to be online here for Bebe. No nano, no sound barrier here for the Atlanta Reign. Coalescence does come out as they fall low. The Bionade connects on a 4, and that sure is the kill on the Bazzi, but they look to turn things around as Cosby takes out Pokemon. Now Gator and Masa both going to be falling as well. It's a 3-for-1, very much to the benefit of the Hangzhou Spark, and that will just be the cleanup in the end. They get the extended wipe, and the car will be able to advance. They drain now away a lot of time, though, due to the Atlanta Reign.
Bebe with a really nice Coalescence there.
They're going to try to contest this.
Yeah, I mean, the Bionade comes through. All right, here comes the contest.
They push their way up. Uppercut is there on the Gator. A bit lower. Kinetic Grass going to be used, and Airster picked off. Bazzi with a nice rocket punch finds the kill. Just being a minor time buy here for the side of the Atlanta Reign, but now going to have to get set up for the final approach. 3 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you, Achilles. I'm not sure about that contest. I mean, Hangzhou Spark had the choke control, the running Doomfist Reaper. I mean, can he really break through? Could he really hope for a one fight? They might have committed the sound barrier if it looked like they were going to start turning it, so there was an opportunity, but you've really just given Hangzhou Spark free resets, free pushing power, and a little bit more ult charge with this move.
Waiting above. Bazzi jumps into the back. Absolutely massive. The seismic slam with the setup there again. Much like we saw from Airster on the first map of Busan. There's a great team setup there, and Dogman barely makes it out alive.
Yeah, using that healing orb in the hallway there to barely heal himself up, give him a little bit more charge towards Coalescence that Coalescence he so desperately needs right now. He doesn't have it. Bebe's got his. Hangzhou Spark almost have the big 6 online here, minus the sound barrier. Bebe needs this Death Blossom to be big. Just once, man, just one big one.
Yeah, punch back over to the card. Bazzi trying to keep himself safe. Sound barrier already used here for the side of the Atlanta Reign. Drops down into the back, looking for a kill, but instantly gets stunned up and finished off. But it's going to be both of these Dooms getting taken down. Cosby invests that Death Blossom and manages to find 2. Maybe and Dogman both going to get cleaned up. Now Masa falling as well. Seems like this might just be it. Airster is back alive. Goes up with a Meteor Strike. The cart will be able to advance. Now Dogman rejoining. There's a drops down, but there's a sliver of HP for him. So he falls instantly, and Baby Bay, nothing that he can do. Exit Raid form, gets stunned up instantly by the accretion. And now Gator just gonna be rolling around like a madman, trying to find something. Pokemon comes in, manages to find a penalty Godspeed. It's just so darn low that he will get finished off, and Dogman cannot contest the card. 1 minute and 29 seconds remaining, though, for the Spark.
Nice pushback there on the Dogman, making sure he couldn't tag. The pin there could have actually converted into something big if Dogman had a Coalescence available, if he were able to buy more time for the rest of those respawns to come through. Obviously, Airster with a Tracer swap. These Rhine swaps coming up big for Atlanta Reign, but it's not big enough. And we're seeing these delays. We saw it on A of Anubis just before with Gator. He's proven himself to be a pretty great Reinhardt player, given his history on the hero. But I have to say, even though this is a weak time bank, 130, it's pretty good for Gibraltar. And the Hangzhou Spark have had so much success shutting down the Reign's aggressive play. Now that the Reign have to go on attack themselves, we have serious concerns about how this is going to go. Baby Bay, again, just not finding value on those Blossoms. I know I sound like a broken record on this, but he needs to be getting those. Godsby is consistently converting these ultimates into multi-kills, whereas Baby Bay is not showing up in the kill feed or getting killed by Bazzi before he can even use the ultimate. And it's not completely his fault. Hangzhou Spark are really focusing him. They're really preventing him from setting these up. Dogman's had a great game on the Ana. He's set up many big bio grenades. But what you lose with that is the ability to use Coalescence. He is looking like he's going to start the Ana, or rather the Moira here, on this attack. But this might be the final push of Atlanta Reign. A whole season long, ups and downs. Might be the final down here. We'll have to wait and see if they can pull off a miracle. All the fans are hoping for it. Airster with the Genji opening here, can be great against Bastion and very unexpected. The deflect here can set up for a fast blade and can force the position to move, the bunker to move here.
He's got to get up over the top first.
Hiding around the back, this could be a great opportunity to get serious ult charge.
Godspeed looking around, not sure which way to check yet.
Here he
Push
comes.
up into the back, starts poking down. Already, Bazzi gonna fall, the deflection's gonna be used, and Godspeed gets finished off by Baby Bay. Fantastic stuff so far from the side of the Atlanta Reign. Baby Bay gonna be taking a nap for now, but Goochway gonna be finished off. That will just be the one fight for the side of the Reign. Big Bionate on the back end, however, Baby manages to take down 2. Airster will punish him for that, as he builds up about 50% towards that Dragon Blade.
This is huge. Airster is a great Genji player. Didn't get to see it from him all too much this season. Most of the flex DPS we saw from him in the past was on something like a Tracer, right, during the GOATS meta. You've seen the Genji from him a few times, not a staple this year, but in his past, it certainly was. And now he's halfway to that blade. Hangzhou Spark swapping it up back to the Doomfist. Reaper.
Always risky because you don't have that instant pick potential like you do with the Doomfist.
Certainly not.
Godspeed has since swapped over onto the Reaper here off of the Bastion.
Yep.
Doesn't want to play that into this Genji.
Dash resets are everything here for Airster. If he can get just one pick, suddenly everything's opened up.
Everyone on the side of the Spark, though, quite elusive outside of the tanks. But they've got plenty of shielding to keep them protected. And a lot of ways to peel off a Genji. Right clicks up into the face here of Gushway. Deflection going to be used as well.
Dogman's got the nanos. They're setting up for this ultimate.
He's looking for a target. Falls low, has the dash out. Keeps himself safe for now.
Nanos
Nano
out
used
early.
here onto Pokebo, just trying to keep him alive. Blade nearly online. Skater uses that Gravitic Flux. Doesn't find anything, but Ursa takes out Bazzi. The Supercharger going to be dropped in now by Pokebo. Here's the Dragon Blade. Through. Godspeed taken down. Ursa looking for a little bit more. Gets stunned up right at the end.
All right.
Does not matter. Causes so much chaos. The damage is there. And Baby Bay is ready for the cleanup.
The hopes are alive here for the Reign. The sound barrier was perfect for Masa. He sets up for the Dragon Blade after the Nano was used earlier, keeps Pokebo alive, and now they're getting the stagger kill here onto Bazzi. What a huge turnaround for Atlanta Reign. They really needed that blade to be big, and it was as big as it could be. Masa with the perfect barrier. So impressive to see that patience there, using that the last second. And Dogman using the Nano, he wanted to set up the Nano Blade. They didn't get that opportunity, but Masa empowered him just the same. And now
They're
they swap
gliding
back.
through.
Yeah.
The spot right here, absolutely huge. We know that taking the hangar as an attacking team can be nigh impossible. As we see another Death Blossom, not really gonna net much there for Baby Bay, got stunned out of it. But does remain safe for now, but as I say, it will get burnt down. Coalescence out from Baby. Helps set up the kill, as Baby Bay and Masa will both fall. Now Gator and Ernst are gonna be cleaned up. And this is where the pain of trying to reaggress through the hangar comes in from the side of the Atlanta Reign.
So frustrating to deal with the high ground. And Hangzhou Spark only used the Coalescence there, as Baby Bay wasted another Death Blossom, unfortunately. And Hangzhou Spark are just gonna sit back, reposition. They're not going fully up on the hangar, only the Gushway up there right now. They're actually looking for a Flux engage here on the choke. Rhea holding it right now. Want to be as efficient as possible with those ults. Here's the drop down.
5 ultimates ready to go. Looking for the setup here. Uses it, manages to find Gator alone, but he is low enough to get finished off. Reaching through, not going to be able to find the hit. Rhea falling lower and lower. Pokebo looks to take him down. Already got rid of Gushway. As he and Airster both going to fall, so no Doomfist here in the extended fight, but IDK still going to be committing the sound barrier. And as they manage to push forward, Godspeed shielded up. Can play a bit more aggressively and takes down Dogman.
This isn't terrible for the Reign. They forced a lot of ultimates here.
They have, but now they lose that on Masa and Baby Bay. Supercharger will get finished off, and that is going to be the closeout here on the fight for the side of the Spark, taking Reign down to 2.5 minutes remaining.
They even get the Coalescence. It's not great for the Atlanta Reign, but it could be worse. Hangzhou Spark used everything but the Death Blossom here. Only Godspeed holding an ultimate right now. Everything else was tossed into that fight. So Atlanta Reign trading up in ultimates. They're going to have their own Gravitic Flux. They don't have positional advantage here. They have to deal with this first drop down from Godspeed first, but if they don't deal with that, B should be theirs. Massive ult advantage here coming online.
Gator, hello, wrap around the backside, finds the stun there onto Bazzi. Spark caught a bit off guard by that one as Pokebo falls dangerously low. They try to keep topped up, but it's not going to happen. The Death Blossom is there from Godspeed. Tanks fall, as do the damage dealers, and Hangzhou Spark get a clean wipe on the side of the Atlanta Reign.
Gator goes for the risky flank. Your tournament life on the line. He goes for the risky flank there, tries to step for the Flux, gets stunned out of it by Bazzi, killed before he could use it. And Baby Bay, the rest of the squad are getting closer to those important ultimates, but you've really only got a few fights left here if you're the Atlanta Reign. This fight needs to be theirs. They have a huge ult advantage. High ground controlled by the Spark, but they've got to break through.
Punch there,
There's
got
the
to be
pick.
taken down. A fantastic start now for the Rain. Can they get across that line into point B? Sound barriers out from Masa to start things off. Baby Bay with the Death Blossom
There
comes
it
up
is.
huge this time. He gets himself two. Baby Bay and Bazzi, both going to be eliminated. And there you can see.
The crouch is coming through. Baby
Yeah.
Bay finally gets that moment, that Death Blossom moment we've been waiting for so long. It was a scenario in which the Rain had massive ult advantages. They're going to have Coalescence here too coming into this fight. Hangzhou Spark, how much far forward are they going to really play here right now? If they can just buy a minute of time, they'll have the better time make, but they could play for the win here.
See that there? You know that they're getting jazzed up. 2.5 minutes now for the side of the Atlanta Rain on this final stretch. Gravitic Flux is used by Gator, but it's not going to be able to find anything. And lose out on both damage dealers. Gator just gets swarmed on.
The Spark play extremely far forward here. Collapse onto an Atlanta Rain that used a lot of their big ultimates in that last fight. They knew they would be pretty helpless there to that surprise drop down. And the Hangzhou Spark come through with Flux now. And that's going to be a great control of this choke that they've got. And it's only one fight left they need to get the better time bank.
Barrier up for the right flank.
We're already there, basically. This isn't even pushed past B, really.
Of course. 4 ults ready to go. The sound barrier now going to be coming through. Dogman gets rid of the supercharger with his coalescence, and now Gushway going to fall. Grecian not quite going to hit. Zerster comes in with a meteor strike and slams Rhea.
Looks like the DPSs on the side of Atlanta Rain are reinvigorated here. Hangzhou Spark with a sloppy defensive setup here. They don't really commit all of their ultimates. They don't get to use the Flux, but Atlanta Rain punished hard. The aggressive positioning 2 times in a row. Weaker time bank here for the Atlanta Rain, but this is a finishable map. This is Escort, so time bank a little bit less important. But they need this to be as clean as possible, the most time possible. So all they've got, Spark, is the Flux here. They want to hold on to it.
Supercharger down by Poke.
Using it, actually.
Gravitic Flux going to be absolutely massive. Slams him back down to the ground. Erster nearly falling, but does manage to stay alive for a little bit longer. But as I say that, Bazzi cuts him down and gets Dogman to boot. Dive over onto the side, Baby Bang. It's going to be Wraith walking out. Atlanta Rain have to sound the retreat. They've got to reset now.
They wanted to be aggressive. They didn't want to use the Flux for the final contest. They saw blood in the water and again are playing much more aggressively than they have all series long. The Flux sets up Bazzi's kills there with Godspeed. Now he's going to have a Death Blossom. There'll be 2 on the map. Masa with the sound barrier can help outlast through that, but I mean, this is Atlanta Rain. One final chance to finish this map where they are going to bomb out of this final match. 0-4, a complete sweep. So much pressure on them for this final fight.
Masa coming around the back. Sound barrier ready to roll. Cannot lose this ultimate. Need this one to be well timed. Baby Bay looks to take over the high ground. Now TP's into the back. The Death Blossom is ready to go. He's going to drop down. He's going to be using it. Manages to find one. IDK going to be taken out. Left out of it now, Baby. Falling low. Hurston finds a punch. Rhea going to be gone. The tank line's going to be gone on the side of the Spark. They absolutely get annihilated. Now Bazzi falling as well. Will enter into OT as Bebe tries to contest. Gravitic Flux over on the entrance there. The Rain will be able to glide through into the end of Watch Point Gibraltar. A minute on the clock for them.
Smiles on the faces of the Atlanta Rain players for the first time in 3 maps here. And it looks like Baby Bay's finally come online. He's finally got his way back into the backline of the Hangzhou Spark. Great teleport there. The drop down into the Death Blossom. He had 2 back-to-back good Death Blossoms there on the attack on Gibraltar, but will it be enough? Momentum is such a huge thing in this series. As I mentioned throughout this postseason, no team has ever come back in Overwatch League history from an 0-2 start. And Atlanta Rain wants to be the first here to get this reverse sweep. I mean, when you are getting destroyed map after map, push after push, your opponent got the 1-minute push to the end of Numbani, it's really hard to stay composed. It's really hard to keep your mentality up. You need a strong leader in these moments. And Atlanta Rain, with just a few kills, have finally looked themselves again. They have the lesser time bank here, but will this be the momentum shift they need? Will this be the moment where they turn this series around? It has to be now.
1 minute, 2.5. Spark set up, Bastion ready to roll. Airster for now showing us the Widow, but that's just going to be a swap off coming through from him. We'll be back to the Genji.
Like this a lot. We'll see if he can get those dash resets again. And we'll look for that opening kill onto Godspeed, and he really comes online.
Yeah, it's a different defensive setup for the Spark.
Yeah, and he's scouted this time. You know, he won't be able to sneak around the back. They already know he's on the Genji.
Working his way through. See if he wants to dash over towards the staircase. Just play up underneath of him. And there's the drop down to Gushway. Punished. Dogman, however, gonna fall. The hand of Godspeed, and Gator is gone. Half the time now taken away by the side of the Atlanta Rain, but Ursa strikes back, manages to find Godspeed, gets rid of that Bastion, follows up, Baby take it down! Again, that's similar names.
This is crazy.
But here we go, Airster
What a play
keeps
from
them
Airster.
alive.
How did he make that happen? He goes up with the dash resets, he takes out the Bastion, he takes out the Ana. Airster in full control of this game right now. If he can make this push happen, Dragon Blade far away.
Pushing their way up, looking to at least get this cap on A. Hangzhou Spark come back out to re-aggress. The Bastion is gone. Godspeed's on the Reaper. Bionade connects on the 2. Bazzi and Gushue, they force out the Ice Block, and Gushue's gonna fall first. Both supports now under fire. Airster trying to get the Dragon Blade online. Just 14% left to go. Right click's coming through. Has to try to get in behind the shields. Dashes in. Blade about to be online. He gets stunned up, but he falls behind the Orisa Bear. Another blade comes through. Rhea gonna be cut down first. He looks for another target. Hasn't been able to find one yet. Gets a bit of damage over. On to Godspeed. Forces him into the Wraith form. Now they have to stay glued to the card. Spark playing forward. They get rid of the supports. Gator falling low. Airster going to be taken down. This might be as far as it goes. Coalescence comes in as Popo gets frozen. The OT will plummet. 3.42 meters away from point A is what the Spark need to beat. If they can do that with their 2-minute, 29-second time bank, they will advance and the Rain will go home.
Airster pulls out the Genji, has a heroic attack there, getting those dash resets, blowing up the Bastion, going in for the flex support Bebe, getting that kill set up there to allow the Atlanta Rain even the opportunity to push to A. We have seen holds on Gibraltar before with a time bank like this before A, but it is going to require perfection. No slip-ups, no mistakes, no missed Death Blossoms, and no opening picks from Bazzi. This is going to have to be as clean as it gets, and that is just going to be one step towards a larger 4 maps in a row the Atlanta Rain will have to win. It is about as Cinderella's story as you can get here.
Getting close. Airster going to be using the Symmetra on defense.
Yeah, I mean, it
sees them across. Will this just be a swap off? Seems like that is going to be the case.
Yeah, this is
he's going to
so
be.
risky.
Yeah, he's getting taxied back right now by Masa.
This is something that you would never expect as the Spark, is this extremely forward spawn camp style strategy, where the Doomfist and the Reaper can really help you get those opening picks, especially against a Bastion. There's no immortality.
Way back. See, they were trying to spot this how. They don't know. That's why you see the hesitation coming in the drop down. Gushue shows his back. Wall comes up though. Bazzi was on the flank. Gushue kept alive right now by that immortality field. It's going to be Baby taken down first. Godspeed. He looks to turn it around. Now Gator falling lower and lower. Kinetic Grasp going to be burned. It's a bit of shielding. Tries to stay alive, but Pogo gets frozen. Taken down, and Gator does not last much longer. They run the gambit here. Atlanta Rain, they try to surprise them, but it does not work. Bazzi was ready.
I mean, this is just another one of those moments where Baby Bay gets picked first. This may be the end of it. Airster with a desperate swap onto the Mei. Dogman's on the Ana. I mean, we've had great bio grenades all series long. Not enough to turn any of these maps around. Will the miracle happen now? Will they make this happen? Baby Bay spotted.
Up top on the flank, already going to be knocked down a half. Coco drops in aggressively, uses the Fortify so he doesn't get frozen. They manage to take down Godspeed, and IDK will fall as well. A huge victory here. On the back of the aggression from the side of the Atlanta Rain will secure them the cart, but can they hold it for another minute and 20 seconds?
It's absolutely possible. Baby Bay with a distraction there, they pull all attention to him, and then you see the Atlanta Rain are able to come and collapse in on the side and get those kills. Godzi back onto the Reaper here. Blizzard going to be a huge tool, but they don't have a ton of time to build it and then get him into position to use it. That right-click hit there is actually huge. They're going to drop down. Hangzhou Spark have realistically one big fight. They have 2 big ultimates coming online here, but if they mess this up, Atlanta Rain can absolutely take this map.
A Kinetic Grasp eat from Gator on the Blizzard would be absolutely huge. They forced back. Wraith form on a cooldown now. Airster takes a nap, and he's going to be finished off. Godspeed finds a kill. The Lobbin is there onto the Blizzard. Flux coming through, but the cleanup is there. Spark only losing out on 1 member so far. That's Gushue taken down. IDK stunned for the moment. But Masa now finished off, and Dogman napping up on the high ground. The bio grenade wakes him up. And they finish him off. Cart gliding forward. Can anyone tag in? Gator now going down. Popo tries to make his way through. Instantly gets frozen. The wall comes up, but that is it. The curtains have been shut on the Atlanta Rain. Hangzhou Spark, they take Gibraltar. They take the set.
4-0 here. an extremely one-sided affair and a tragic end to what was a great postseason for the Atlanta Reign. Absolutely had their number, did the Hangzhou Spark. Baby and Airster shut down by Godsby and Bazzi. And it was a series that, you know, I think Atlanta Reign fans will remember for a long time. Very much a complete shutdown. You got to give Atlanta Reign for all they've accomplished this season, though, coming in as an expansion team, having 3 different flex tanks, having Baby Bay come in and step up, Winter Fran step down. And Atlanta Reign, I think, really did push people's expectations further than they imagined coming this far in the postseason.
Absolutely. I mean, especially with the victory over the Shock. Atlanta Reign have just kind of subverted expectations in the back half of the season, taking that first place in Stage 4, then making a fairly deep run here in the playoffs. I think they can still hold their heads high. What they've accomplished here so far this season in their first season in the Overwatch League. Really looking forward to see what they can deliver in 2020. But for the Hangzhou Spark, the dream stays alive. They will be advancing forward. Guys, we've got Danny Lim standing by on the floor with Godsby for our Coke victory moment.
Wolfen Achilles, thank you very much. Everybody give it up for Godsby and the Hangzhou Spark for clutching that win. 4-0 clean sweep from you guys. Congratulations. Now, coming into today's match, I gotta be honest, a lot of people thought that Atlanta Reign was going to take this. They were the favorites, and it was for a good reason. They have been playing amazingly throughout the whole postseason, and also they've also beaten the Shock, so that was why a lot of people thought that Atlanta was going to win. But after the match, you guys absolutely dominated them. 4-0 for you guys. How'd you guys prepare for your match against the Atlanta Reign? 오늘 원래 경기를 들어오면서 좀 많은 분들이 아틀란타가 아무래도 이기지 않을까라는 좀 말씀을 많이 했어요. 아무래도 좀 플레이오프 때 굉장히 좀 좋은 모습을 많이 보여줬고 또 센쇼크도 한번 이겼고 해서 그랬지만 오늘 경기를 보니까 아주 그냥 4대0 좋은 성적으로 또 항저우 팀이 이기시게 되는데 오늘 경기 좀 어떻게 준비를 좀 하셨나요?
이제 저희 팀들 다 같이 저희 보드진 그리고 뭐 회사의 다른 분들하고 저희 팀원 동생들까지 정말 새벽까지 열심히 준비를 해서 저희가 이번 포스트 시즌에서 좋은 성적을 거두고 있을 수 있는 것 같아요.
I think one of the biggest reasons for our victory today is because everyone on the Hangzhou Sparks team, whether it's players, staffs, everyone in our company, just spent day and night really preparing for today's match and for the playoffs, and that is why we got the victory. Now, although you guys got the victory today, you guys still have 2 more matches, and I'm going to say I don't think it's going to be an easy match for both matches. How confident are you that you guys could win both matches and go up into the Grand Finals? 앞으로 이제 2경기가 남았습니다. 제가 봤을 때는 솔직히 말해서 좀 이렇게 쉬운 경기가 될 것 같지는 않아요. 하지만 가스비 선수 좀 얼마나 그랜드 파이널까지 결승전까지 갈 수 있다는 좀 확신이 있으신가요?
확신이라기보다 이제 저희 팀원들하고 다 같이 열심히 노력한 거를 믿고 그랜드 파이널까지 열심히 가볼 생각입니다.
I can't really guarantee that our team is going to make it all the way to the grand finals, but I do trust in my team, and I'm going to trust what we have prepared and what we are going to be preparing for the playoffs, and that's how we're going to do it. Alrighty, Godsby, thank you so much. Let's move on to our special jersey signing moment. Throw it. Or are you going to give it to me? Oh, nice, thank you. And we have our lucky super fan. Here is your jersey signed by one and only Godsby. Godsby, you know what I'm going to ask you, right? 제가 뭐라고 할지 아시죠? 포옹 하셔야죠, 포옹. Hug time, yeah, hug. Yeah, awkward hug, I love it. All right, thank you so much. Casters, back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Danny, for bringing us that victory moment presented, of course, by Coca-Cola. I mean, yeah, Spark gonna hold their heads high. I like that they're not being extremely cocky about moving forward in the playoffs, keeping it fairly grounded there is Godsby, but can feel good after walking away with a 4-0 victory here to keep their playoff run alive.
Yeah, I mean, it was a phenomenal performance by them. If we take a look at our player of the match by Omen, it is Godsby. Honorable mention to Bazzi on the Doomfist, but Godsby...
Bebe as well.
Yeah, I mean, there was one Reaper player in this series, and it was Godsby. He shut down Baby Bay so many times. He had the more valuable Death Blossoms and set up for so many great team fights. Bastion looked good. He played showed his versatility on multiple heroes here as well. And Godsby just comes up so big once again. I mean, I'm struggling to get these words out because I can't even describe how great of a series he just played.
Yeah, I mean, just taking a look at his Bastion stats there for the series, 32 final blows, 13 of those in the configuration tank. and 73-13 as far as eliminations and deaths are concerned. So a fantastic performance from him on everything that he played throughout this series. Now we're going to take a look at our playoff bracket and get the update. As you can see, of course, on Friday, coming up tomorrow, that big one of Titans versus Excelsior. But down here in the nitty-gritty, Spark will advance.
So
they don't know who they're playing against yet.
It's a long road. You face either the Gladiators or the Shock, and then if you win that, then you face either Vancouver or New York. So as Danny was mentioning in that interview, it is a pretty tough road, but they dominated the Atlanta Reign. So expectations on Saturday, a little bit changed now, you have to think here for Hangzhou Spark.
Yeah, for sure. Not going to be able to see that rematch of Reign versus Shock again. Maybe Gladiators take the victory in that next set, because that is going to be coming up very shortly here. We've got NorCal versus SoCal. We'll see who can come out on top. Gladiators versus the Shock, so make sure you guys stay tuned. It's coming at you in just a few.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile. And by Toyota, official North American partner of the Overwatch League. Toyota, let's go places.
Hey man, what's up?
You need anything for today?
Nah man, I think I'm set.
Big day today, man?
Yeah, huge. Let's play some Overwatch.